Hello. Hi, there we go. Good morning, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. Everyone's a little worse for wear in here this morning, but super, super happy to be here. Super excited to join you guys. What a pleasure. What a pleasure indeed it is. And it feels so good to be in here this morning, all telling our stories of last night. And let's get to the intros quickly. I'm Woodsy. And that's Paul Reindl. He's the executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how are you?
Paulie is still champagne-soaked from last night. Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, is not soaked in champagne, and neither am I.
Good morning. I thought maybe you'd be at like 12 when we went on the air, but you're not. You're very calm, cool, and collected this morning.
Yeah, I'm burnt out. That's why.
Is that why?
100%.
Right.
Yeah, 100%.
Went too hard last night.
No, I expend a lot of energy and expended a lot of energy yesterday. It's not that I'm not fired up. I'm happy, but I'm also like, all right, well, great.
No guttural yell?
No, there's a lot of work to do. There's tons of work to do, man. Tons of work to do. We've been in this position before, and I'm super excited. I'm glad we beat the Braves, but I kind of expected to beat the Braves, and now, the next level steps up. Going to go play the World Series favorites, the one of the highest payrolls in baseball, 3 MVPs at the top of the lineup. The Dodgers lay ahead, and I'm really, really excited about it, but I'm not going to – I can't say the phrase I want to say I don't think. BML over – winning a wild card series. You know what that means? Here, turn the mics on. Right? I can't do it every day. There's business at hand, right? So I don't want to come in here and...
You don't want to pop your cork, your champagne
cork. You were going to say something else. No, because there's so much work left to do. But it's not... I don't want it to be misconstrued that I'm not fired up. I'm extremely fired up. But, man, I just, it's taking care of business. We got through this one. Let's get through the next one. Let's win on Saturday. So that's kind of where my head is at. But so let's talk about our evenings last night.
Yes, very opposite evenings between you two and me.
Okay.
Like completely 180 degrees different.
All right, so question. Yesterday at the end of the show, I said, what's your plan tonight? And you said, I've got to go do the live hits in front of Petco and all that. And I said, well, no listeners better see you and yell Hawk Tua behind you or anything, which I wanted them to, right?
Yes.
Then Paulie and I texted you and said, hey, where are you? And you said, I'm at the top of the Marriott. You up there broadcasting. Was that because of us?
No, that was apparently always the plan.
Okay, so you didn't know.
I just didn't know where, because the day before they were down at the bottom of the Marriott where you can walk by and people can. So I thought maybe, I bet we're going to get a lot of people. But no, they decided to go at the top where you can see into Petco Park. It's a really cool shot.
It's what you guys do opening day.
Yes, it's our opening day location. So we went back up there, and I was field anchoring.
I told Paulie, I go, oh no, dude, did we make him completely changed?
We scared the bunny.
We scared the bunny, and I wondered if he went to his boss, hey, we got a code red here, Woods, and Woods has enabled the audience to come up and yell Hawk Tua in my broadcast, so we need to move it up to the Marriott. The people at the Marriott are like, oh, yeah, we can accommodate, come on up.
So I heard your stories of seeing so many tier ones.
Oh my God, man!
On the field with Shiel Seidler and Manny Machado, and I was. And Cole saw me. I saw Ben running out of Petco on my way in. He looked absolutely flustered. I nearly had my Paulie college radio moment yesterday on television.
Oh no.
So yeah. So I went in to the Channel 10 studios around 1:30 or 2, but
okay.
I had to put together like 3 stories because we're on from 5 to 7:30, and I did one on Joe Musgrove and one on Kyle Higashioka. Took some of the Dylan Cease press conference from yesterday, and I am editing. I'm turning everything around. I'm like, okay, because I do my own work on television.
Sure.
Paulie does all my work here, but I do my own work on television.
You don't have a Paulie.
I don't have a Paulie.
What would you do for a Paulie?
I would love having a Paulie. I don't have a Paulie.
I am for sale.
Yeah, I don't have one. So I look at my clock, and I thought, okay, I'm done. I've got everything set. It's like 4:10. and I've got to get down to Petco park in the MTS garage, and get over to the Marriott. I'm like, okay, 50 minutes, I'm okay. I'm running right at the top of the hour at 5 with Wale from the roof of the Marriott. So I start driving down, and I realize, it's going to be busy. It's playoff game, but it's the timing of it. 5:38 start. Everyone's kind of arriving at this time. So I go down the 94. We're only like 3 minutes into downtown, but the cars are backed up. I'm sitting there slowly working in, get down. Finally, I get to the garage. It's like 4:46, and I am quite a ways away from my live shot. I got to walk all the way. This is where Cole saw me. I got to walk all the way from that side, the Imperial side, the Lexus lot side of Petco Park, up around the top, back around all the way to the Marriott.
Why didn't you just park at the Marriott?
I should have.
It's
I
like
just
I
had my parking pass, and I was already kind of locked in because I was in the. Well, I just thought I had to have plenty of time. So at that point, it was too hard to. Like at that point, I didn't even know if there was any spots available. The worst thing would be to show up to the Marriott and go, "No, sir, we don't have any spots left." So I knew I had a spot there. So I start fast walking, and then I start really fast walking. As tier ones are like, "Bad, I gotta go." And I'm just like sprinting past the tier ones. I've got my jacket on. I'm starting to sweat. I'm getting hot. I'm walking now down past Social Tap and getting down that street, and now I'm starting to kind of breathe a little heavier as I'm, carrying my backpack and
your mind starts
and
going.
I'm getting worried because I'm getting late. It's like 53, 54. I get to the Marriott. It's 22nd floor. I got to wait for the elevator to take me up. Fortunately, I didn't have to run up 22 flights of stairs, but I get up there, and then there's another 2 flights of stairs to get up because we're in the top DJ booth. So finally get up there. I got like 2.5 minutes to spare. Get my earpiece on, and I am right on the air going. And I don't think anyone noticed on television, but I was just sprinting up there, and I apologize to the myriad tier ones that I just blew off as I walked, down every street in downtown with everyone going, "Ben, we love the show. Yeah, thank you." And I'm just sprinting past them, and then and then I was on TV for 2.5 hours until 7:30 when the game was obviously still up in the air, but at that point, they need me back at the studio, so I just go right back all the way to the garage, get my car, go back to the studio. I never actually made it into Petco Park last night.
Sucks,
Not even for 1 second. They didn't scan my credential. I didn't even get into the ballpark.
So here's what I don't understand. Why did could you not have gone at 7:30 into the park?
Well, but I needed to go back. There was no one. I don't have a poly, so I need to go get all the highlights, start cutting them because I've got to record by like 10 or so all of our segments with Wale. I'm in the studio with them when they're taping their pieces, so I had to race back. It's just this was a bad timing game for me, and I didn't really get to enjoy it. I watched the whole game or the first, 5-6 innings from the farthest vantage point you can possibly have on top of the Marriott, where I can sort of see with a pitch. I see the pitch. I can see the umpire and the call. I mean, I can see what's going on, but obviously it's not the best experience to watch a game.
Well, we went down early and did the thing, and again, it's more of just being down there and talking to some of the guys, and got to talk to Manny, which is always a treat. I talked to Crony, of course, and talked to Sheil Seidler for a while, and that was very special. And I'll just pass along her message. She is just obsessed with all of you guys out there that continue to keep Peter's memory and legacy. She
sees you. She hears you.
She sees it all. She's like me. She sees the ends of Twitter every day, and she feels it, and she needs it, and her kids appreciate it, and her friend that was with her said to me privately how much she appreciates it. So keep that up. I do feel like it's a huge, huge part of what's happening. And she couldn't have been cooler and kinder and nicer. And she is just, we shared some stories about Peter. And, Paulie was telling the story about how the first time he met Peter, he showed up in pajamas. And, you could see her. She goes, "That's my man. That's my man." And she actually said he did not give an F, about what anybody thought about him. And I go, God, what a brilliant superpower to have. And if we could all live a little bit more that way, I think that'd be great. And then, of course, the caring, the commitment, the heart, the passion, the empathy, all of those things. You don't find them in a regular human being, and a lot of regular human beings, especially one of that status. So she is the nicest lady. I'm so honored to be able to know her and talk to her. So that was kind of the highlight. So then Paulie and I, our grand plan yesterday was this. We didn't have tickets because we've got our press pass, which is only good through the next series, by the way. So we drink it in. I was down there drinking it in because that's probably it for me. If you know, the Dodgers, if it doesn't go well, that's it for Paulie and I. We'll be watching from home. So we're walking around. Our plan was, Paulie said, hey, man, in like the first inning or second inning, you go online and you can buy really good seats for relatively inexpensive because
A fraction of what they were before the game.
a fraction, you know, a quarter. And I said, bro, I'm willing to spend $100 a piece
You're
for
getting
us.
a partial game.
You're getting a
you're
partial
already
game,
in,
yeah.
but you can get a seat for someone tried to sell them, maybe asked too much, and you go, well, we better just take what we
I'll
can
take
get
what
at
I can
this
get.
point.
Better than nothing.
Better than nothing. Yeah, it's, you know, a decent policy, I guess, if you just want to make something. So I said, yes, Paulie, brilliant plan. I said, because what I don't want to do all night is just roam. I don't. I was tired. I wanted to sit and enjoy the game. So we're walking through the concourse. And again, to all the tier ones that stopped and said hello, you truly made our night. You wake up some mornings and you're like, oh, my God, what are we going to talk about? Is anybody even listening? And you're in here with your buddies and there's a microphone in front of you to hear some of the stories about how we've helped you or how much we've touched you or how much we've made your morning and made you laugh. It's everything to me. It's fuel. It's fuel for my body. And
Met somebody from L.A. They said, I'm surrounded by Dodger fans. You guys are my slice of home. We met a guy
From Portland.
that flew in from Portland
Yeah.
for this game, and he's like, I listen to you guys every single day. Like, it's so nice to meet you.
to have you guys with me while I'm
Yeah.
far away. So it was beautiful. And I loved every second of it. And I loved meeting every single one of you. It was so cool for me and Paulie. And so we walk through and I go, man, let's check the tickets. The game hadn't started yet. I'm like, let's check the tickets. No, it's still like $300. Like, son of a bitch. All right. So I go, do we dare? Do we dare? He looked at me. He goes, yeah, let's go. So we go up.
We should at least check it out.
We should pop in. I mean, we should stop. I mean, our company has a suite. We should at least stop by and like glad hand a little bit, say hello. So we go up to the suite and I peek in the window and started walking toward the door. Michael Valenzuela, our big boss. And he goes, what's up, fellas? I'm like, hey, how you doing? I was like, you mind if we hang just for a second? We're going to buy tickets. He's like, come on in. I said, well, this feels weird because we don't even work at KSON. So that was the weird part for me is like, I don't play Morgan Wallen. Are you sure we're okay in here?
We actually kind of hate more.
Yeah, like I kind of make fun of Morgan
even
Wallen.
allowed?
Am I cool to be in here? He goes, I heard your bit. I heard you saying you're not allowed. Not near the suite. Look at you. Enjoy. Sit down and relax. So Paulie and I are looking at each other going, all right, well, this is pretty great. Saw my buddy from Eco Water in there. We were chopping it up. Saw some clients. Met Spiro.
Spiro.
Spiro, the Spiro and Mrs. Spiro,
Yep.
who introduced him as Spiro, and I'm Mrs. Spiro. We met them. It was great. And so we hung out for a while in the suite. And
By the way, potential advertisers out there, that's one of the perks. to
Yeah,
jumping on
100%.
board the 97.3 The Fan.
That's
team.
exactly
you
right.
can hang with Spiro and Mrs. Spiro in the suite as well.
100%.
Next season here on 97.3 The Fan.
So we hung out for a while. We kept looking at tickets. They never really went down. And then I started to get the way that I get. I realized I don't get to see my boys in the morning because I'm up and out the door. I tucked them in the night before. Didn't see them in the morning. Left before they got home. And I got that panicky feeling that I'm not going to get to see them until Thursday at 3 o'clock. And I said, that's going to be about 36 hours of not being around for my
Then
kids.
you're an absentee father.
Then I'm an absentee
and now
father.
they're going to have therapy for years
Correct.
dealing with how you abandoned them.
So I text Hannah, I go, keep the boys up. Daddy's coming home. So I went home a little early so I could tuck them in. And I'm very happy that I did. But when Paulie texted me the picture of the champagne in the locker room, I realized, I could have been there. I could have been there. I wasn't there, but it's a young man's game. But I can't do 36 hours of like, where's Dad? Like, what is Dad up to? Because I don't get to see him in the morning. So, they're little, and I don't want to do that to them. So I was happy to go home and tuck them in. And Bo started to actually jinx the game, so I sent him to bed in the 8th because he wouldn't stop saying dumb stuff. So I was like, all right, it is bedtime. I was going to let you watch the whole thing, but I don't think I can handle this anymore. So I took him to bed.
Jason Adam thanks you for finally sending Bo to bed.
100%, dude. So I put him in bed, and all worked out. I want to hear all the Paulie stories about being in the clubhouse because I've never done that. And is that your first time or second time? You second time.
First time.
First time with
in
the champagne.
The clubhouse. I've gone down like on the field after a game.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, everybody got to go in there and just observe.
That's so cool.
We will have, obviously, the reaction of the celebration of the players. We will have the update, if you haven't heard it, on Joe Musgrove's injury, which, of course, was the key concern coming out of yesterday's game. We know some things. We don't know other things, but we'll let you know all about it. And, of course, we'll talk about another dramatic playoff one-run game that went down to the wire and had us all stressing out last night together as Padres fans, but they did it. They swept the Braves. They are going on to the NLDS against the Los Angeles Dodgers. And when we come back, in addition to setting the menu, I've got a show announcement. In fact, we're going to have a special Ben and Woods show, a little extra program coming up for you that you can actually join us live for.
The roundtable?
This weekend. No, that's we have another extra show.
So that's two extra shows.
Between now and the next time they play a game, we've got extra shows for you and a chance for you to come out and hang with us and the 97.3 The Fan crew. We'll tell you all about that when we come back after our first check of traffic with Kelly Danick. It is a playoff clinching Thursday morning. It's good to have everybody. Look how many people are already on our YouTube stream. Good morning to you, San Diego. It's Ben and Woods and Paulie on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, here we go.
Black 17 on.
That is my number.
All right, hit me.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
All right, here we go.
Black 17 on.
That is my number.
All right, hit me.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
Reached a new country, Benjamin. You know, recently we had a guy in our chat from Italy. Of course, we have our beloved Welsh friar. Scandinavia. Now, that's not a country.
That's not a
that's
country.
A territory, would you call it?
It's a grouping of 3 countries,
It's
I would say.
Finland?
Maybe even 4 if you want to include a little bit of Denmark.
Finland?
Yes.
Norway?
Yes.
And Sweden.
Correct. Very good.
I have such a Jones to go over there and see those places before I die. That's on the list of places to go. I'd like to go to Scandinavia, but there's he goes by Positive Surfer in the chat, and he said that he wears his Padres hat over there, and nobody really knows what it is. He said nobody's really interested in baseball. He says he shows them clips of Manny's home runs, and they're like, all right, whatever. It's so rad, though. Like,
If you'd never seen baseball before and someone showed you a clip of a guy hitting a long home run, that would be impressive. Like, wow.
yeah, I'm trying to think.
They took that little ball and it was coming at them at incredibly high velocity, and they were able to use a stick to hit it 447 feet. That's pretty cool.
We got people in South Dakota listening this morning, people in Salt Lake City listening. This is really, really cool. Yeah, I would like to interview Positive Surfer. What are somebody brought it up. I thought I would bring it up. Diesel did, of course. The Swedish women. Is it just a bit, or are they really kind of what in my mind's eye I've painted? What do you think?
My wife is
Swedish,
of Swedish heritage.
Descent?
Yeah.
I mean the natives, like the ones that live there.
Right.
That's what I would like to.
I mean, I'm surprised that there's a ton of surfing. I didn't realize. I mean, they have a lot of coastlines, so I guess it was possible. I just assumed that the water was so incredibly cold that you didn't go in it.
Trevor is in Vienna, Austria this morning. Oh, my gosh, this is insane. Somebody's in La Mesa. Oh, thank you.
Wow.
Two places where you can enjoy Oktoberfest this weekend.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Boise, Idaho. Look at this. I love this, man. I love this. This is great.
Well, if you happen to be more on the local
Utah.
side of the listening, or you're traveling into San Diego this weekend, you can join us on Saturday. Come out to AleSmith in Mira Mesa to see us as we broadcast live from 2:30 to 4:30 to get you ready for the San Diego LA playoff game. AleSmith 394 Pale Ale is the official rally pint of the playoffs. Watch all of the San Diego postseason action at the AleSmith Tasting Room in Miramar with game day specials on 394 and more. Root for the hometown team with other fans while enjoying the game with sound. That's Saturday, 2:30 to 4:30 for us at AleSmith in Mira Mesa. Then stick around. We've got Sammy's pregame show and then the game up in Los Angeles. So looking forward to seeing everybody out there on Saturday.
Give me the times again.
2:30 to 4:30.
AleSmith.
4:30 pregame show,
Okay.
and then it's 5:30 or 5:38 again, I believe, for the first pitch that they'll have from LA.
I would love to pack that place. I would love to see all of you out there. So I'm working on this as a little extra added bonus. You guys have seen the necklaces, right, that all the players are wearing. We talked about our buddy Ricky Huerta, who is the one of the Padres trainers, and his daughter has been making them.
Not the one that went out to see Joe. That was
No,
Ben.
that's
Ben Frazier.
Ben Frazier. We love Ben, too.
Love him as well.
But Ricky's daughter was making those necklaces, and we had a whole thing about it, and I was happy to facilitate as long as I didn't have to drive around and deliver. But a lot of people have gotten them, and I think I talked to Ricky last night, and I think his wife and daughter are going to make some and come out to AleSmith. So if you want to buy them at AleSmith, come on out and do so. I'm going to double check and confirm it. But if that's something that you are interested in getting, I think they're going to have them there.
Ricky won't be there. He'll be in
Ricky's
Los
going to be in
Angeles
LA
with the team.
And I'll tell you, my kids do not take theirs off. They wear them every single day. Now, I put one on. It's not for me. It's not for you. It's not for us. It's not made for us. It's like, it's like Chapel Roan. Like, that's not for us. It's for other people, and I understand it, and I'm happy for them, but it's not for a couple of slovenly middle-aged guys.
It's like Morgan Wallen.
It's like Morgan Wallen.
For other people.
That's for others.
It's not for us.
That's not for us. But if you have it and your kids will love it. My kids never take them off. You can mix and match with your unis, your outfits, whatever. She's going to have those. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I am very excited to be out on Saturday, and I mean we've got a lot of time to kill now between
We do.
now and 5:30 on Saturday. This is a bit of a just catch your breath. It's gonna, the stress and everything is going to resume
it'll come back.
briefly. It'll come back, but for this moment, like this day, knowing there's no game today,
Yes.
no game tomorrow, I actually can breathe a little bit. Stretch my shoulder. It's like, okay, we're all right for a second.
Let's talk next about just how close we got to having a game today,
we did.
my friends. And hey, remember, the underlying theme here is it doesn't effing matter. You won the game. You handled business. There is Nothing to worry about now except the next step, and that's the LA Dodgers.
We'll get to our Padres wrap-up. Obviously, we are going to be talking Padres Braves and Padres Dodgers for the entire show. I will throw in that it is a Smart Baseball Thursday with Eno Sarris. He will be with us at 8:35 this morning, and he will be talking Padres baseball as well, I promise you. So let's just get started, get to our Padres wrap-up with Jesse and Tony's highlights. What a dramatic second inning rally with 6 straight 2-out hits. You're going to hear it coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Well, being a lifelong Padres fan, I was surprised that I had to even look this up after the game yesterday because I wanted to confirm what my suspicions were, and it was true. In 56 years, the Padres had never swept a playoff series of any length, ever. And they finally have their first sweep. Got the brooms out against the Atlanta Braves. 56 years. Not a 3-0 sweep of anything. They've always lost at least one game, even in the series that they have won. So they did it yesterday. That's the best way. If you want to keep moving on in the playoffs, you want the sweep. You want to keep your pitching as fresh as possible, set yourself up for the next series, and the Padres did exactly that by taking care of the Braves in 2 games. There certainly were some moments, though, especially yesterday, where you weren't sure if they were going to be able to pull it off. We will talk about all of that and get into the highlights with our Padres Wrap-Up right after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by MTS. Get to Petco Park the easy way with MTS during the playoffs. Guys, got a number of problems here. Westbound 8 crashed near Lake Murray. Looks like a couple vehicles involved. They're over to the right shoulder. Cordell traffic cam shows a stalled vehicle on the transition ramp southbound 15 to the West 8 connector. It's blacked out, so please take it extra carefully there. South 15 at the westbound 8. Also, southbound 163 before Park Boulevard. Accident involving a couple vehicles. It's over the right shoulder. Playoff baseball is back in San Diego. Get to Petco Park the easy way with MTS. Trolleys run every 15 minutes or better throughout the day. Learn more and plan your trolley trip at sdmts.com. That's sdmts.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You hear what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Oh, my God, I'm so stiff.
Miss any of the Padres win yesterday? Ben and Woods didn't.
What up, crew?
We've got you covered with all of the highlights.
I like it when the Padres win.
Yeah! Yeah! It's the Padres Wrap-Up, presented by Hamul Casino. With thrilling slots and tables and all the best rewards, Hamul Casino has all the fun you're looking for. Hamul Casino, fun above all else.
Yeah! Give me a do damage.
Do damage!
Musgrove sanded the belt, 1-2 to Ozuna. The pitch is swung on, hit in the air to left field towards the line. Profar races over, makes the catch. Gonna air it out for home. Here's the throw, not in time. Sacrifice fly Ozuna as Harris sped home from third base. And the Braves take an early 1-0 lead. 1-2 pitch is hit in the air to deep left field. Laureano is back. He is at the wall. Oh my goodness, it's gonna go. Kyle Higashioka takes it out for the second consecutive night, and a 1-1 game here in the second inning. Reed, big breath, he delivers. Machado swings, lines it into left field. That's a fair ball. Gonna bounce and roll all the way to the wall. Arise and Tatis have scored. Profar will be held. Manny into second with a 2-run double, and the Padres in front. It's 3-1. Here's the pitch on the way. Merrill swings, sends it in the air to deep center field on a line. Harris is back at the wall. It hits up against the base of the wall. Pops back into play. Both runs will score. Merrill's on his way to third. A 2-run triple. For all that is you, and Soler sends one a mile to center. Merrill's back at the wall, but he's not going to have a play. That is well up and out of here. A home run for Jorge Soler. Second run of the night for the Braves, and the Padre lead is now 5-2. Estrada delivers, and a ground ball to the left side. Manny diving to his left has it. Throws from his backside to second. One onto first, not in time. Nearly a spectacular double play turned by Machado, but able to get a force out at second, and there's 2 down. 2-2 to Olsen. Here's the pitch from Tanner Scott, lined into left. Profar charging in. He's got it, and the inning is over. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left, and a big deep breath. 2-2 pitch, and Murphy swings and misses. Strike 3. Went after the slider, and the inning ends on the second strikeout for Tanner Scott here in the 7th. Pitch on the way. Harris swings, sends it in the air, very deep to right center field. Jackson Merrill is back into the gap at the wall. It's going to go. A 2-run homer for Michael Harris II. His 3rd hit of the night, and this is a 1-run game in the top of the 8th. 47,705 on their feet. Darno swings at the first pitch, pops it up, foul ground first base. Up the line, Higashioka makes the catch, tumbles over Solano. He held on. The game is over, and it's on to Los Angeles. The Padres have swept the Atlanta Braves in the Wild Card Series, and they will play Game 1 of the NLDS at Dodger Stadium on Saturday night.
Feels really good. We can't do work in the future if we didn't get to this point. So great job, good series. It was a good ball game. They came right back at us. They score. We get in the 5 spot, and they kept taking good and bad, chipping away. We'll see what's going on with Joe, but boys hung on. Bullpen was great. Big time win. Move on.
Woo! God, you got me fired up, Skipper.
Padres
Come on.
advance to the
text
NLDS
him right now. Should I text him right now?
It's a little early.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I mean,
Man.
they had a long night last night, too, just like you did. Give them a few minutes.
All right.
Now, Padres
He might have had a little bit of a longer night than Woods.
Maybe.
Padres have led after 17 of the 18 innings so far in the postseason.
Yeah, but I saw your tweet. It made perfect sense. It was a wreck.
It was still a wreck, even though they've been ahead. Now, they were behind for the first time in the first inning. Joe came out, gave up the double to Michael Harris II, and then a nice job by the Atlanta Braves moving him over, getting him in on the sac fly. While that was a battered and bruised and overworked team with injuries galore, they're still got some World Series champions on that team. That's a professional team that did not give up, that was ready to fight, came to play yesterday. So the Padres were down 1-0 going to the bottom of the first when they load the bases with infield singles. And you're thinking, okay,
all right,
blow the roof off the place.
The roof was the rivets in the roof were
Yeah,
already coming loose when Manny strode to the plate, Ben.
And it's actually the one thing I feared was putting yourself in a position like that and then letting all the air out of the balloon by not scoring. Manny strikes out against Max Fried. Jackson Merrill grounds into a force out at home.
2 good swings and good contact, and then I think it was a fastball, just blew him away inner half. I was like, oh, no.
And then Xander hits a grounder into the hole, and they go for the force at second base. And Jackson Merrill, bang, bang play. Did not review it, but very close at second base.
Now, did you see the replay? Because I had people going, dude, he was safe.
It was very close.
The naked eye looked like he was out.
If you were not listening, I thought one of the most astute comments I have heard, Eduardo Perez, I believe, mentioned it on the TV broadcast, and he said, Padres could have stolen a run there. If Jackson Merrill treats second base like it's first base and stays up and just runs all the way through it, he'll be safe. Now, they'll just tag him out after he goes past first base. But that run at third counts. And it's actually something I hadn't even considered, but it's something apparently the St. Louis Cardinals and the Chicago White Sox, of all teams, have started doing. They're telling
earlier in the year, yeah.
Telling your team, if you got the bases loaded in 2 outs and you see like there might be a close play and they're going to second and you're the runner, don't slide.
Don't slide.
Run through it to keep your speed up. It's a bang-bang play. You can save a good quarter to half a second, which is often the difference in a play like that. So, yeah, you're running out basically out now toward left field after you're safe, and they'll just tag you out. But because it's no longer a force play, that run from third counts. And who knows, maybe the guy from second just keeps sprinting around and you can stay alive long enough to create some havoc as well. It was I had never heard that. It's a very advanced strategy that requires a lot of pre-planning and coaching, and I don't know if it's something the Padres
worked on.
It's
big brain stuff,
yeah.
But it makes sense, and it's relatively a new strategy. So
it's not. Well,
you're seeing it more now, and it goes against everything that you kind of thought.
So I was listening.
Plus, I mean, if you think you might be safe, you don't want to kill a big inning by making an out you didn't need to, and that was a really close play.
It was a really close play, and the crazy thing is that it played out 3 hours after I finished listening to Skip Schumacher on the Eric Hosmer, what is it, Breaking Balls or Digging Deep?
Breaking Bats.
No, Digging Deep.
Digging Deep.
Digging Deep podcast where Peter Moylan, Eric Hosmer, the other guy, they're all talking about how the Cardinals would do that for years, right? There were standard things in the Cardinals organization where they would sprint through second, bases loaded, 2 outs. And I went, wow, okay. So it actually surprises me, Benny, with, kind of one of the true believers in the Cardinal way that didn't happen yesterday. But it was wild. Like, they just brought that up. That podcast, by the way, I haven't listened to a lot of the Hosmer podcasts, but with Skip on it, I did. Brilliant. Just as a side note, listening to his baseball insights and strategies and culture talk was incredible.
So you have that disappointment of not scoring any runs after loading the bases with nobody on. You wonder, okay, I mean, is this a bad sign for what's to come? And the Padres get through the top of the second, and they go to the bottom of the second, 2 quick outs, and I'm going, yep, Max Fried, that was your best chance to get him. He is now probably going to be locked in. Sometimes those pitchers, you don't get to them in the first inning. It's hard to start scoring off of them. And then all of a sudden, the game changes with one swing from now Mr. San Diego postseason himself, Kyle Higashioka, who homers for the second straight day. And man, I mean, what an instant flipping of the switch. That follows with 3 straight singles, a rise lines, 1 to center, 2 more infield singles. I mean, the Braves, if you're a Braves fan, you're going, these infield singles are killing us by the San Diego Padres. And then Manny, how often do you get a chance with the bases loaded in the first inning, you don't come through, and you get a chance in the very next inning to try it again?
You ain't getting him twice.
Bro, that was unbelievable.
And you felt good about Manny's chances in that spot.
He
took a pretty flat sweeper, a get me over sweeper, and did what he does. Off speed stuff. Manny's so good into the corner for the 2-run double. And then Jackson absolutely just launches one to center field. Michael Harris does not let balls get over his head. He is really, really good. He gets a great jump, plays pretty deep. No one gets a ball over his head. But Jackson hit that one so hard that even Michael Harris II could not make a play on that for the 2-run triple.
What a moment. 2-run triple for the kid. That was your pick to click yesterday. Paulie,
2 hits, got a double and a triple.
I'll call that a click. How many RBIs for him? 2?
Yeah, 2 RBI.
Paulie, who was your pick to click?
Manny.
Okay, Manny.
Big swing. Woods, of course. I said, why not just take Fernando Tatis Jr.? He had 3 more hits and a walk. Is an absolute playoff stud, right? You went with Fernando Tatis Jr.
I did not.
Oh, that's right.
I went with the X-Man.
Still looking for his first postseason hit. Hey, it'll come maybe against the Dodgers on Saturday.
Yeah, it's not how you start; it's how you finish. But I'm not super encouraged by what I've seen at the dish so far. But like you said, there's time to figure it out. But yeah, man, it was electric when Manny hit that ball down the line. The place went insane. I was buzzing, like my body was buzzing. It was like being on something. It was crazy. My head started to hurt. Like, it was wild. And then Jackson just caps it off, and
he hit for the team cycle, all with 2 outs.
Yeah,
single, double, triple homer.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch on my phone from the roof. Like,
they don't have TVs up there.
Not where I am at the top. I can't see any television, so I've got my phone streaming. It's like 80 seconds behind the action, so I hear something going on, and rally towels waving. I'm going, all right, wait on it, wait on it. Here it comes. Wait on it. What was it the entire time? To see exactly what just happened on the play. So Padres, 5 runs. It's just the 3rd time in postseason history that a team has collected 6 straight 2-out hits, and the first time in over 20 years that it's been done. And that was all the offense the Padres would get in that game yesterday. Now they hit the ball on the button a lot the last few innings. A lot of Adam line drives and deep flies that just didn't turn into anything. It's not like the offense, I thought, went away or disappeared. They just, ran in, I think, some tough luck later in the game. But that let the Braves, that Braves bullpen was outstanding in the series. Their starters gave up, 8 of the 9 runs? The bullpen, though, is outstanding. And they took Max Fried out, and they just kept putting up zeros and giving their team a chance to come back. Obviously, Joe has to leave the game in the 4th. We'll talk about Joe's injury coming up here at the top of the hour, and we've got some sound and give you the full update. But the Braves stay in it. They get the solo home run from Soler in the 5th off Hoeing, who went an inning in a 3rd. But, it's 5-2. It's like, all right, you still got a bit of a cushion.
Yeah.
Great job by Tanner Scott getting out of the 2-out jam with 2 on, relieving Jeremiah Estrada. And then Jason Adam comes in the 8th. And, he had pitched against that same part of the lineup in game 1.
Yeah.
So they're getting a second look at him, and 3 pitches in, it's a 2-run home run, and this game is a 1-run game. Michael Harris II was a tormentor of the Padres in this series, and he got a hold of one. He was sitting on something or saw something he liked. And at that point, you got 6 outs still to get. It's a 1-run game. You lost Joe. You lost the momentum, and you're just wondering, can the Padres hold on here, Woods? Can they do it? And Jason Adam, which is probably one of the hardest things to do in baseball, to give up, hit, home run on your first 3 pitches, to come back and go, all right, 1, 2, 3, and hand the ball over. And there really was no choice of the matter who was getting it after you had already used Scott and Adam. It was going, and Estrada. It was going to be Robert Suarez. Do or die in the, no insurance at all. I mean, I was begging for insurance runs in the bottom of the 8th. Please. Anything for an insurance run here. Didn't get it. He had to, with no safety net, walk the tightrope, and he got the 3 outs. He even got squeezed a couple of times.
He did.
And still got the 3 outs.
I'm telling you, I wasn't nervous at all. Not even a little in the night.
Really?
Not even a little. Really.
I felt like I was a wreck, and I'm usually the one who stays pretty calm.
I don't know what happened, but a serene calm washed over me once we got out of the 8th, and I went, Bobby's going to get it done, man, and he did too. And again, he got squeezed on that one, and more hard contact. Great play by Jackson Merrill, certainly, saves the game there. But there's this misconception that closers can't give up hits or can't give up hard contact. They can. And you got a good defense behind you. He pounded the zone. He didn't walk anybody. And it was perfect, man. It was perfect. And it doesn't matter how you got there. Adam made me really nervous in the 8th, but man, talk about buckling down. And these are all things to build on. Every single thing is something to build on for this team and gives them the confidence to know, yeah, man, we can bend a little bit, but we're not breaking. And I loved it.
The one, of course, concern is the health of Joe Musgrove. And when we come back, we will hear directly from Joe's mouth, talking to Tony Gwynn Jr. after the game, what happened, how he felt, and what he thinks his prognosis is going forward. Coming up next here on 97.3 The Fan. So we're learning more about Joe Musgrove's injury here this morning. Welcome back. It's Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. And apparently, and this is new in Kevin Acey's newsletter this morning, and I heard a little bit of it last night. Joe apparently the last couple of weeks has not been feeling great when it comes to his arm and his elbow. Been fighting through it. I mean, looking really good and sharp on the mound, but he has definitely been feeling not his best, and he said in particular this last week has been a struggle for him leading up into this game. But he wasn't going to miss his start. He was going to get out there and give it his all, and actually looked pretty good. Gave up the quick run, but after that, he struck out 4 guys, struck out 2 in the third, struck out 1 in the fourth. Velocity was looking good. Breaking ball was looking sharp. There really wasn't a ton of concern until all of a sudden, and Kyle Higashioka noticed it right away.
That was something, man.
His velocity on his curveball, which is usually in the low 80s, mid 70s, and a good catcher sees those things right away. Joe wasn't about to show any weakness. He was going to fight through it, but Kyle goes, something's wrong, and just put a stop to it. And you saw, he walked right out to the mound, and
it's my catcher.
Then Ruben came out, and then Mike Schilt and Ben Frazier, the trainer, came out. Was not that long of a discussion. Tapped him, and that was it for Joe Musgrove. And he came out, and obviously they reported later in the game elbow tightness. What does that mean? Well, we'll find out. He's going to get imaging today. But one person who remained fairly optimistic about the whole thing was Joe himself, and he talked with our Tony Gwynn Jr. in the celebratory clubhouse after the game on what happened and what he thinks might happen next.
I'm here with Joe Musgrove, and Joe, obviously there's a million people out here hoping that you're all right. Just tell us how you're feeling right now.
Yeah, I feel a lot better now. Physically I felt better. I do feel like I got out of there in time to, hopefully able to patch this thing up and get back out there before postseason's over. So
I told Kyle Higashioka I thought he might have had the best catch, not allowing you to throw that next pitch as he ran out. Because it certainly looked like you were about to throw another pitch, despite feeling how you were feeling. What is it like to have a teammate be able to know you just from your body language?
Yeah, I was out there kind of hoping he would notice and come get me. I really wanted to finish that inning and get out of there clean and be able to, come out during the game. I got to wear this one. I think honestly it was the best thing that he came out and got me. I feel like I was a few throws away from putting myself out. So, I would have loved to stay out there, but I feel like it's probably the best move for me and the team. I don't know how good my stuff would have been carrying on.
Your bullpen came in, held it down for you despite your injury. What has it meant to have guys really do that all season long, whether it's for you or anybody else out there?
That's what we talk about, the confidence in this team. It's like everyone's got their own version of confidence, but it's really the confidence in one another in the group. Like I felt completely confident leaving that game and knowing the bullpen would pick me up. Obviously I hate to put Hoeing in that spot and put the innings on the bullpen, but with a lead like that and a chance to clinch today, we felt pretty good about our odds.
I'm not going to hold you too long, man. Go enjoy yourself, get patched up, and hopefully we see you in L.A.
Sure. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, so some optimism from Joe, who says he thinks that, he can get some treatment, turn it around, and come back and pitch again this postseason. What does that mean? I would say it's highly unlikely we'll see him against the Dodgers or he'll even be on the roster against the Dodgers. Best case scenario, gets a week of treatment, throws a bullpen, feels decent, and goes, I can go in a league championship series if the Padres advance. Would you say that's probably how you're feeling as well, Woods?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And this is the where you look at it and you go, okay. I mean, yeah, it's a huge loss if in fact it is a loss for Joe Musgrove, and I don't ever want to count anybody out, especially in October. And if Joe feels like he can go and help, but I did have this just kind of random thought of like, okay, well, you was in the bullpen, and maybe now Joe, if he does get it quote unquote patched up. Maybe Joe works out of the bullpen if you need him, something like that. But I think I agree with this series. Probably no reason to try to rush him back at all. And you kind of hope you get through this series and worry about the next one, Ben, because, at the end of the day, I think you can win. I think you can win without Joe Musgrove. They did it for a lot of the season. So you, Darvish, now slides into that, which is the luxury of having depth. Martin Perez, if you need him on the roster for some innings, he's pitched in a World Series. Sean Reynolds is a guy, a big power arm that you may want to add. So there's options, man. It's a deep team.
Obviously, this can change very quickly with the results of the imaging, which will probably, if we don't know today, maybe tomorrow at the the manager will do a news conference tomorrow at Dodger Stadium during their workout day for the NLDS, and my guess is we'll find out a little bit more about Joe's condition there. That if there's any chance that Joe can come back, he's going to do whatever he can to try to pitch and help the San Diego Padres going forward. I agree with you. I think one of the topics we're going to have on the roundtable and probably tomorrow as well is how the Padres should handle their revised starting pitching rotation going forward, minus Joe Musgrove. And there are different options. You mentioned, of course, Martin Perez would be very easy to just plug him into the starting rotation. But
you don't need him.
There are other choices as well. You have a very deep, talented bullpen. We've already seen the Detroit Tigers went with a bullpen game yesterday to clinch game 2.
Correct.
They went right to a bullpen game. This is not uncommon in the playoffs anymore. If your best pitchers are your bullpen, can you piece together a good 9-inning plan that involves some hoeing, some Morejón, the guys that you feel like can stretch you out to full 9 innings and just one guy hands the ball to the next guy? Is that maybe the better strategy? Is there any room for a Randy Vasquez conversation? Looked really good in his last start as well against the Arizona Diamondbacks. I think they're probably having these discussions. We will as well. You can tune in to our roundtable today at 10 a.m., a commercial-free Padres roundtable. We'll be there, Annie and Elston. Chris Ello is back today as well. It's presented by San Diego Roundtable Pizza for takeout or delivery. Go to roundtablepizza.com. Roundtable, it's pizza royalty. We need a contestant. We're still going to play a Throwback Thursday game of Real or Fake. If you want to try to call in, win a prize, 833-288-0973. You can dial us up now, 833-288-0973. I think emotionally, Joe is so important to this team that he can still impact the playoffs. Even if he doesn't throw another pitch, Joe's still a critical member of this team and will be providing leadership. He's not going anywhere, Woods. He will be with them no matter what he has to do. He had the bone spurs. He said specifically this was something different. It felt different than the bone spur pain. Pain in his elbow, tightness, it's all a bad thing for a pitcher. It's very concerning, and I'm not going to downplay it. I won't be a gloom and doomer and say it's over for Joe, but it's the worst kind of news that you don't want to get if you're a pitcher.
It's not something, and we talked about it, I think, off air. It took the wind out of the sails last night at Petco Park. It totally did for many, many, many innings.
Now, you and I were there, and we were watching on TV, but I got the feeling that everybody was feeling the same way as we were. It happened out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
Like, you kind of just, if you looked away for a second,
which I did.
all of a sudden, the trainer's out there with showing, and you're like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah, originally people thought it might be lower half, like a hip flexor or something. The thing that I was really worried about was oblique. If you strained your oblique, you're
phone
done.
Starts blowing up. Everybody's like, what the heck is going on?
Elbow's no better for a pitcher. It's no
maybe
better.
Worse.
Maybe worse. And so, but no, I mean, look, again, if you doubt the ability of this team to sustain or win without Joe Musgrove, then you haven't been watching this year, because Joe Musgrove was hurt for a lot of the year, and this team figured out a way to do it. And in the playoffs, you're going to have to be creative anyway. And, sometimes even when guys are healthy in the playoffs, they go out and they lay turds, and you have to get creative then. So,
I mean, the Braves got creative the last couple of days.
And their bullpen, was pretty good.
Their starting pitchers went a total of 3 and two-thirds innings in 2 games, and their bullpen was great.
They were fantastic.
They probably wished they had just gone with 2 bullpen games. They might still be playing right now if they had done that and not used any of their starting pitchers. So I agree with you, Woods. There's a lot of paths to victory, actually more than in the regular season because of the extra off days. 2 off days now, off day on Monday, off day on Thursday if you need to go to a Game 5, or maybe even 3 off days before the start of an NLCS next Sunday. So there are different options and plans out there. We will talk about those coming up on the program. Right now, though, let's get to a Throwback Thursday edition of Real or Fake.
Some are here for the compelling sports talk with Ben and Woods. You can go plow through another donut. It's time for Real or Fake on 97.3 The Fan. Tell the people what they'll win today.
Paulie, what do we got? We got the Aztecs tickets, right? For Real or Fake winner today. All right, if you beat or get 4 out of 7 right on Real or Fake today, you don't even need to beat Woods. We'll hook you up. The Aztecs taking on Hawaii this Saturday at Snapdragon Stadium. It's the Mountain West Conference opener. Big game, obviously. They want to turn things around after their 1-3 start. That's the prize, and our contestant is Alex. Hello, Alex. How are you?
Good morning. I'm feeling great after that Padres win.
I'm glad. We're all feeling pretty good. A little tired, but absolutely the spirits are high today. All right, here's your category. Now that baseball season is over, let's see how closely you and Woods were paying attention. I will name a major league hitter. You tell me if they hit at least 30 home runs this season. Real, or hit less than 30 home runs this season. Fake. Simple enough, right?
Sounds good.
Yeah. Woods follows a lot of baseball, so I think he's going to be helpful here. So, Alex, you ready to play?
I'm ready to play.
All right,
Thank you.
round 1, real or fake, 30 home run hitters in 2024. Mark Vientos of the New York Mets. Real or fake, Alex?
Fake.
Fake. No help from Woods at all. Correct.
22?
7.
7.
27. Came close. Didn't get there. All right, that's an easy one for you. All right, round number 2. Let's try Josh Naylor of the Cleveland Guardians.
Hardly
Real
know her.
or fake,
Real.
Alex? Real.
Real.
Yeah, you agree? You're right. 31 home runs for Josh Naylor, the former Padre. All right, we are cooking today. Let's go round number 3. Jake Berger. Real or fake? Jake Berger.
Fake. I'm going to go fake.
29. My goodness, we are playing a good game
Why
here
don't you
today.
just sit back and relax?
I'm
Woodsy?
going to. That's exactly what I'm doing.
All right, let's go round number 4. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Real or fake?
Real.
Oh, my God. What a beast. I shook my head fake.
Yeah, you didn't think so. I went double reverse psychology going, oh, obviously Vlad did it. Wait, why did Ben include it? Because he didn't get it. He got exactly 30 this year. You want to go all the way for the 7 for 7 here, Alex? Let's see if you can keep going. How about Gunnar Henderson, Alex? Real or fake?
Real.
Yep.
Jesus.
Rafael Devers.
Real.
I'm going to go real.
Fake.
Oh, we got you finally. 28. And
That's my fault.
Tyler O'Neill.
Real.
Fake.
Real. Woodsy, you got that one. That doesn't matter. You win. Congratulations, Alex.
All right.
Thanks,
Hang
buddy.
on
Good
the
job.
line. Paulie will get your information, hook you up with the prize today.
I thought you were going to throw Manny in there.
Manny got 29. I thought about throwing Manny in there. I figured.
Oh, you know it killed
I'm not
him.
going to rub it in his face. He wanted 30.
Of course
you
he
know
did.
he wanted 30.
30 and 100.
It doesn't. 29 is really good, too.
Especially after the start he had.
We like round numbers, but they're really not that big of a difference from 29 to 30 or 31, whatever. 30 home run hitter.
It just feels
my
better.
Book.
You
just
want
feels a little bit better.
You want that round number.
All right. When we come back, Don't Do This is going to focus our first look ahead at the Los Angeles Dodgers series. And I'm going to make a prediction that has actually already come true, which is the best and easiest kind of prediction to make. We'll do that next on Don't Do This after a check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
All right, here we go.
Flag 17 on.
That is my number.
All right, hit me.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
All right, the easiest predictions are the ones that have already come true, but I promise, I actually told this to Paulie the other day. I will share it with you. First, this segment of Ben and Woods, Don't Do This Today, brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. Buffalo Wild Wings is football, and B-Dubs is kicking off football season with 2 limited-time sauces. Try their new Buffalo Bacon Sauce for bold notes of smoky bacon, or get the fan favorite hot barbecue before it's gone. Try them at your local B-Dubs or order now for takeout and delivery with Buffalo Wild Wings. Go! So I think it was right after the show on Tuesday, and I told Paulie you were still waiting. You hadn't come into our production studio yet, and I said I'm going to wait until this series is over. But assuming the Padres win, I give you one promise and prediction. I said, mark my words, the Dodgers are going to try to paint themselves as the underdogs in the NLDS. That they're the team that no one is giving a chance to.
Oh, my God.
That they are the team that, no one believed in us.
They do it every year.
And it's going to be ridiculous, as it always is. But in particular this season, after they have spent $1 billion and added Shohei Ohtani and Teoscar Hernandez. I get it. They've had some pitching injuries. We're not going to.
Who hasn't?
We're not going to. I mean, Padres just had one yesterday. Every team deals with pitching injuries. It's part of baseball. You know it's part of the season going through. So I thought we'd have to wait until like Friday to hear these comments, though.
No.
And apparently my prediction has already come true. Woods?
I mean, look, James in the chat is already saying with the injuries, they are the underdogs. They're not. They just no. Let me clarify.
They
something.
won more games than anybody in baseball.
They have the best record in Major League Baseball. Okay,
they have the best player in Major League Baseball.
They have the best player in Major League Baseball.
They have 3 MVPs at the top of their lineup.
They've won 11 out of 12 division
They are the World
titles.
Series favorites.
They are the odds-on favorites to win the World Series.
If you want to argue that they're not quite as big of favorites as maybe they've been in other years, whatever. But they're the favorites.
You're going to put me in a straitjacket. You're going to put me in a straitjacket. You're going to 51-50 me. All right, so, I mean, I'm sick. Saw this last night. Dave Roberts was speaking to the media and said, hearing about guys, he said he's noticed a different edge with the Dodgers this October. Hearing about guys not caring who we play. They've got to beat us. We have a lot to prove. A lot of people have doubted us. So I think our guys have kind of embraced that.
Yeah.
From the first minute of the first game of the 2024 season, your team has been the favorites to win the World Series. Even when you hit a little 500 skid and you had some guys go down, your team remained the odds-on favorite to win the World Series. Your team has been number one pretty much in the every dumb power ranking all season. You're not underdogs. You will never be underdogs. Never.
You don't get that.
You don't get to play
Padres
that card.
didn't get it last year either.
No, they did not.
You know, when they signed Juan Soto, or when they had traded for Juan Soto and had that powerful lineup, they didn't get to be underdogs.
No, you don't. I mean, hey, listen.
And I'm not trying to make the Padres out into underdogs in this series.
The Padres are underdogs,
but in this particular matchup, yes.
Yeah, you don't have the what are they top 3 in payroll? You're not an underdog.
Top 1.
No, the Mets are higher.
Are they still higher?
I think they're higher.
I mean, the Mets cut a lot of payroll.
It is.
Depends on how you're accounting Shohei Ohtani makes a difference.
I'm not even like trying to play devil's advocate here. I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of a Dodger fan.
Sure.
Those dirty, smelly shoes. Is that the card you want to play, the underdog card, or don't you want to beat your chest? Be like,
you want to be
the Padres? Okay,
bro. I've said it a million times.
Nobody's beating us.
They want to be the evil empire, but they're just not evil enough. They don't know how to embrace. I saw a guy tweet the other day. I don't understand why everyone on the East Coast, all they do is call Shohei a gambling addict, and he's the best player in baseball. We should be embracing him. They don't understand that. Everyone hates their guy. They don't it doesn't fathom. It doesn't register with them.
There's no rivalry between the Padres and the Braves, and it's not like I wasn't thinking, oh man, like this is a good team. Like we've been facing adversity all year. I'm looking at the 2-game series this week. I'm going, you're the better team. Take care of business.
Take care of business. No
don't even
let
them. Don't even let them in it. You are the better team. I don't understand.
They've tried that a few
mentality.
years, and it hasn't really worked in the playoffs, so I guess I don't blame Dave Roberts for trying something else this time around.
You cannot be. I mean, all we're asking for here is just a modicum of sanity. Just a little bit of sanity. How do you say it with a straight face? Are you trying to get under our skin? Mission accomplished. Because
I don't remember Derek Jeter and Mariano Rivera.
Bernie Williams,
no one really believed in us.
They're like, we came, we kicked your ass, and that was our job.
I think we're the underdogs against the Indians in this series. They never approached a series like that. That's who the Dodgers would love to be.
They want to be the Yankees of the 90s.
Can't.
They just can't do it. It's just not in them to do. Now, they're a really, really good team. Hence why they're the favorites to win the World Series. So you can't. It's hard to be picked as the favorite and be like, yeah, we're gritty. I mean, they're gritty as hell.
But if Dave wants to go full troll and starts calling his team the Grit Squad, I will almost okay.
I'll lose my mind. You can't. You
But they've
guys,
been the
I'm
favorites
sorry.
since spring training, by the way. They didn't
Yeah.
get hot in September. and they're the sexy pick.
I said from the first minute of the first pitch.
By the way, it's not like they've played poorly in the second half of the season. You know who has the second best record in baseball since the All-Star break?
The Dodgers.
The Dodgers.
Yeah.
Behind only?
The Padres.
The Padres.
Right. So yeah, man, if you want, listen, a team that cut $92 million from their payroll and traded Juan Soto, that's an underdog story. We are the underdogs.
Viva
There's
Padres.
no question.
The Tigers are underdogs.
100%.
Yeah, there's a good underdog
That's an
story
underdog.
right there. Tigers are an underdog.
It is staggering to me that you can say that with a straight face. Mark, our pal, who's a Dodger fan, says, JFC, you guys are insufferable. We're the insufferable ones? We are. Not you guys. The odds-on favorite for the World Series, and you're like, no, I hope we have a shot. Are you joking?
I would love to have one
Mark,
day where
you're
the Padres are the legitimate odds-on favorites going into the playoffs to win the World Series.
No question.
Be a dream. Be a dream.
I mean, hey, you don't have to listen to us. You don't have to listen to us. Listen to Las Vegas. They know what they're talking about. You're the favorites to win the World Series. How do you justify?
Vegas doesn't miss.
How do you justify calling yourself an underdog and saying no one believed in us when you're the effing favorites? How is that insufferable? Isn't saying that in and of itself insufferable when you're you're picked number one to win it? You think Alabama ever went in a game as a number one and be like, yeah, us against the world? It is absurd. It's absurd. You got to stop. It's so tired.
Mentality in sports.
It's as tired as Madres. It's as tired as no rings. It's just insane. You have 3 MVPs batting 1, 2, and 3. You have a bullpen. Every guy in your bullpen throws 100 miles an hour. You have Jack Flaherty, who has been fantastic. You spent $300 million on your Game 2 starter. How are you an underdog? Guys, just let's have a fun series, and let's try to beat the crap out of each other, but let's not be delusional. Let's sound like real smart baseball fans. How about that?
All right, story number 2. When postseason promotions...
That's insane.
...backfire. And the Astros in the crosshairs today for their postseason drink. Did you see this? It was called Electric Haterade, as in Josh Hader. It contains lemonade, blue curacao, tequila, Sprite, and a tahini rim with a cherry and a lime garnish, retailing for $24 at Minute Maid Park. Apparently, people who tried it said it actually wasn't that bad.
It sounds absolutely delightful and delicious, and I wanted one the minute I saw it.
Just want to sit down on the beach.
Just chug that thing.
Unfortunately, it didn't go well for the Astros as they were swept out of the playoffs by the aforementioned Tigers, and it came down, of course, to Josh Hader, the former Padre, called upon in the 8th inning to try to keep it a 2-2 game after a wild pitch had just scored the tying run, bases loaded, and he gives up the bases-clearing double to Andy Ibanez as the Tigers go on and beat the Astros 5-2. How about the Detroit Tigers moving on to the ALDS and going into Houston and Minute Maid Park and spilling all of their electric haterade all over the place? I thought the do this, though, funny comments, especially from Padres fans going, Steve Sugimoto said, only available in the 9th inning. I saw they call it electric haterade because when you have one, you'll be unavailable the next day. You guys are all so clever out there. Very clever. That Hader did come in the 8th inning. I will say that. Just didn't work out well for him.
Maybe he's the smart one. He's like, I keep telling you guys, I can't pitch in the 8th. I'm not gonna.
Cost me my parlay.
Well, I mean, they shouldn't have asked him to do everything. He doesn't do everything.
You guys want me to do everything? Man, tough look, dude.
Are we in a playoff race? You're actually in the playoffs.
Josh, you're in inning 8 of a wild card game that we desperately need to win. So yeah, we
want me to do everything.
Sucks, dude.
That's Don't and Do This for a Thursday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we don't do this all the time, but it is a celebration Thursday. The Padres are moving on in the playoffs, and if you want to call in, you were at the game last night, you just want to talk some Padres baseball, our phone lines are open. 833-288-0973. Padres fans, how you feeling going into the series against the Dodgers this weekend? Are you nervous with Joe Musgrove potentially unavailable for the series? Give us a call, 833-288-0973. We'll do that when we come back on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Before we hit the phones, we have a buddy that's a Dodger fan, and he texted Paulie. And he said, just so you know, 22 of 27 experts on ESPN picked the Padres over the Dodgers. And my retort to that is, since when does anybody at ESPN even follow baseball, even in the slightest? Literally.
They were right about the Padres over the Dodgers. 27 out of 27.
What do you mean?
Picked the Padres over the Braves.
The Braves.
Yeah, they picked 27 out of 27 picked the Padres over the Braves.
I just wrote them back. I said, well, clearly, then you guys must be the underdogs.
How is it one seed?
Might as well
best
show up.
Again, am I losing my mind? How does a one seed with the best record in baseball consider themselves an underdog? Now,
you know what? Here's the trick.
People sexy
If
picks.
you want to be the underdog, I will allow it.
Shohei can't play.
But the first two games have to be at Petco Park.
Fine, deal. I'll give
down.
you the underdog.
Wait. Why do they have home field advantage?
Give up home field advantage.
An underdog with home field advantage. I'm
and
shocked.
claim the mantle of underdog.
This is the dumbest argument in the history of dumb arguments.
Don't forget, we've got a roundtable.
I think it's a bit. I feel like I'm in the Truman Show, and they're like, haha, got him. You know what I mean? So, it could be.
Got full,
well done.
Full phone lines here when Padres fans want to talk about their team. So we're going to get to that in just a second. Don't forget, we got the roundtable, 10 o'clock this morning. Again, it's commercial-free, presented by San Diego Roundtable Pizza for takeout or delivery. Go to roundtablepizza.com. Roundtable, it is pizza royalty. We will take your phone calls and talk Padres celebration. On to the NLDS right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by MTS. Get to Petco Park the easy way with MTS during the playoffs. Plenty of activity on our roads this morning, guys. Got a collision on northbound 805 before the 54. Car and motorcycle involved in this one. 2 left lanes are blocked. We've also got southbound 805 before Home Avenue. Vehicle that went up the right shoulder embankment. Westbound 94 past College. 2-car collision in the center divide. Up ahead. Crash still clearing westbound King Freeway at the northbound 5 connector ramp. Cordell traffic cam shows a crash on northbound 15 before the 163. 3 cars involved are in the center divide and in the North County. Southbound 15 past the 78. 2-car collision in the center divide. Playoff baseball is back in San Diego. Get to Petco Park the easy way with MTS. Trolleys run every 15 minutes or better throughout the day. Learn more and plan your trolley trip at sdmts.com. That's sdmts.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
This could go well. This sometimes doesn't go well. We'll find out momentarily. I'm just going to start
I guess it is what we make it.
Randomly taking callers as we do. I'll start at the top of the board. Is this Lance?
Hi, this is Lance.
This is Lance.
Hi, Lance.
Lance, you're on the air. Welcome to Ben & Woods this morning on 97.3 The Fan. You're first up.
Yeah, I've never called in a radio station before. My first time.
All right, welcome in. Broke your chair. Congratulations.
It's just like talking normally.
It's like talking to your buddies.
You know, more people are listening.
No, 100%. Yeah, I'm born and raised in San Diego. Grew up, went to Torrey Pines High School.
Go Falcons.
I have never, so it's been a really long drought for the Padres ever doing something like really good. I know they went to the playoffs a couple of years ago, but I've just never seen the stadium so electric before.
Yeah.
And I've gone through Chargers and Padres, and it's been absolutely kind of depressing inside the city, to see like all the ups and downs and watch them always give it away. But I got to say, they are playing with so much confidence. Their mindset is so good. And I've been telling people, mindset is so much more important than skills. If you don't have a good mindset, if you don't have good leadership, if you don't have a goal to set towards, you're going to be wandering in the abyss. The Chargers are still doing it. The Padres seem like they found the light, and I've just never been so grateful to see them do so well.
It's a great call, dude.
Thank you for your show and everything.
Great call, man. And he's so right. He's so right talking about the mindset and the thing. And I listened to Skip Schumacher yesterday talk about culture, and he really on the what is it?
I don't know.
Digging Deep. Eric Hosmer podcast. It's the only reason I watch it because Skip was on it. But he said culture is not sayings on the wall. He goes, and you walk through there, you see sayings on the wall, you're like, yeah, great, means nothing. Like,
you sold those sayings on the wall.
I did.
Professionally.
Yeah, out of the back of my car. I did. Hope with a bald eagle. Yeah, you know the story. He said culture is more than just sayings on the wall. He said also big leaguers see right through it when you are trying to preach culture, but they don't have it. Like it's something that you have to, it takes time to build. Clearly, Mike Schilt, AJ Preller, the leadership of this team went in there and made sure early on that there was a consistent message. Victor Rodriguez, consistent message. Ruben Niebla, consistent message. The leadership of this team has helped mold this team into what you have right now. And again, there's 3 or 4 guys on this team right now with previous reputations of being selfish players only playing for themselves. I haven't seen one shred of it this year. Not one shred.
Now, I will say, and I'm not trying to be negative here, good culture doesn't guarantee you anything. It's almost like admission into the door. The Braves have really good culture, I would say. But you also have to execute and stay healthy, get a little lucky. To win a World Series takes a lot of things. It's really hard to win one with bad culture, though. Really, really hard. I mean, maybe impossible.
And having a very successful season sure helps. I promise you, if the 2023 Padres that we said had terrible culture and nobody was having fun, if they won 93 games, you would have saw a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Like winning is fun.
Well, but again, man, they could have easily fallen off the cliff at 50 and 50.
I
and
was just going to say the same thing. The last year's team never got it going, and fingers started not necessarily pointing. I mean, they will, they'll continue to tell us it wasn't as bad as people made it out to be, and I understand that there's some truth to that, but they certainly weren't together like this year's team was, and they had their same struggles. They were hovering around 500. Why did it go so badly last year and so well this year? This year's team clearly never let it get to them, always stuck together every single moment of this season. It was just plainly obvious to anyone watching this Padres team that they've been together from the very start.
No doubt, man. Jackson Merrill is a huge part of that. Luis Arraez, huge parts of that. David Peralta, Tyler Wade. Those are the guys that come to mind.
Wasn't it Peralta who kind of gave the speech last night right before they popped the champagne corks?
It was beautiful, man.
He's a huge, huge influence on this team.
Massive. And all of those guys have come in and done things the right way this season, wanting to spare themselves a season like last year. And I just can't say enough about it. Now, again, guarantees you nothing moving forward, but it has been so incredible to watch, cover, and love in 2024.
All right, let's go. 833-288-0973. Is this Cornelius?
Oh,
Love that
what
name.
a
That's
name.
a great name. Cornelius, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. In my part of North Park, I'm known as the Commissioner of Padres Positivity.
Yes, Cornelius, the commissioner.
That's just what I do. I'm a San Diego native as well, close in age to Ben, and we did not go to high school together. But either way, what a victory. I was in the yard last night. It was exciting. But even when the chips were down and times were a little tough, the team was 500, I never stopped believing for a second. And that's why I want to say to any Padre fans listening, when you're walking around town, and we all know these people, or we'll see them, and they're wearing that filthy blue hat, make sure you remind them that we're going to beat L.A.
I like it. Confidence.
Cornelius, love it. Thank you.
I love that name, Cornelius.
I do.
I really
feel like
do.
you should be panning for gold, like with
Cornelius.
a name like Cornelius, but outstanding. I had a thought as you mentioned those blue hats, and I don't know if this is possible, but I thought about it this morning. I mean, we all have blue clothes, right, in our closet, T-shirts and stuff. Can we just ban the color blue for the next week in San Diego? Just keep in mind when you're getting dressed and you pull something out, don't let it be blue. I mean, try to avoid it for the next few days. I get it. Most of my dress shirts are that like light blue color. I mean, it's almost impossible to avoid all blue, but let's like that darker, like deeper blue color. Stay away from that for the next few days.
Yeah, I'm out on it.
Yeah. Ban the blue.
Well, I think police officers wouldn't like that.
Well,
much.
it's totally a different sort of
just
blue.
saying, if you want to start making
back the blue while banning the blue. How's that? Is that cover it for you?
That's fine.
Yeah, of course. Those that protect and serve. We are big fans of you. Can we get? I mean, our police officers, do they wear blue in San Diego?
It's like navy blue. That's what
yeah, really, really dark blue. That's okay. That's a different kind of blue. You know what kind of blue I'm talking about? They have a whole name for it.
Yeah.
I forget what it is.
Royal blue.
Yeah, but they're that color scheme. It's like
Dodger
blog.
blue.
Yeah, the Dodger blue. Just anything that looks that close to Dodger blue. Just don't say it. Don't wear it.
Okay.
Let's go to Joseph on our board here. 833-288-0973. Good morning, Joseph. Hello. Joe? Anyone?
Joseph, I hear you.
Sometimes I'm not right on the names.
Hi.
I'm just going on the board and caller ID here.
Oh, your caller ID?
Yeah.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, yeah, because nobody ever answered the phone. I didn't think I was.
Yeah, we don't have anyone to answer the phone.
You're live on the radio.
If you hear us talking to you, then you are on the air.
All right. I didn't know it came across as Joseph either. Hey, so the first caller, the mentality, I think the Dodgers are trying. So we have the right mentality. They're trying to change their narrative as being the underdog because what they've been doing in the past doesn't work. So Dave has tried to change the narrative for them and see if it gives them an advantage. They're desperate. They're scared.
Yeah, I mean it's certainly a good call. It's certainly a choice, but I just logically when you have the best record of 30 teams and you're a 1 seed and you didn't have to play the 3-game series, and again you got the 3 guys at the top and all the guys in the bullpen, and your number 2 starter's worth 10 times, 20 times what the Tigers' full payroll is. It's hard for me to go, yeah, man, you guys are scrappy underdogs. It's really, really tough. But if that's the psychological warfare you want to employ, good luck to you. But I would go the other way. I would go we're the LA Dodgers. Nobody beats us. Look what we have. Look around the room. Look at Shohei. Look what he's done this year. Look at Mookie, what he's done. Look at Freddie Freeman, what he's done. Look at Teoscar Hernandez. Look at Will Smith. Look at Max Muncy with some of the biggest hits in postseason history. Look at all these guys. Believe in yourselves. Not, man, we'll be lucky to win these games against the team that just had to battle for 2 nights against Atlanta.
I think one of the biggest storylines going forward is Shohei in the playoffs. We've never seen it.
I mean, look, I think he's going to be locked in because look at the friggin' year he's had. It's like he knows what pitch is coming. I've never seen a player so locked in. Maybe in Barry Bonds, but other than Barry Bonds, I don't know that I've ever seen a player that locked in.
It's funny, though, because we've seen plenty of role players become stars in the postseason. We've seen stars be stars, and sometimes you see stars really not rise to the moment in the playoffs.
We saw it last year for the Dodgers and Mookie and Freddie with 1 hit combined and 21 ABs. That's not going to get it done, but don't tell me that specter isn't looming. Certainly when you dig in the box for that first AB, of course it is. You're going to be facing Dylan Cease, but it sure makes it a lot easier when a guy with how many homers? 59, 58, whatever he's got.
I think 54.
54 and 58 bags or whatever. Dylan Cease is going to be careful with Shohei Ohtani because you don't want to blink and be down 1-0. But if you walk him, he steals second. Now Mookie Betts is up. Like, on no planet is a team that is built like that an underdog. On no planet. I mean, the planet of delusion. But other than that, man, it is just, it's crazy.
At the very most, you could say it's an evenly matched series between the two teams.
I don't even know that you could say that.
Payroll-wise, Dodgers are way in a different class than
Sure.
the Padres now, especially after the offseason moves by both teams.
Right.
Overall, Padres won 93 games. Dodgers won 96 games. Statistically, not that significant over the course of the season. I have no problem calling this an equal matchup going into the series. I do have a problem with the Dodgers trying to say they're underdogs in the series.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, it should be a really good series between two really good teams. And we can leave it at that. Two heavyweight teams that are poised to make a run and have a lot of pieces to do it. But yeah, again, it's pretty delusional talk to now. You can, if you're a fan of the Dodgers, you can think, yeah, man, Padres are really on a roll, and yeah, I mean, you have to also.
You can think the Padres are dangerous.
Oh, 100%.
They are dangerous.
Stupid not to. You'd be stupid not to.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Let's get.
You'd be stupid not to think the Dodgers are dangerous.
Right. Yeah, 100%. I mean, if anybody's walking around confident that you're going to go in there and beat them 3 in a row, I think that's a little delusional as well.
That's going a little bit too far.
I expect this thing to go 5 games. I really do.
You got Dean in North Carolina here. Sneaking
Dino!
in before the top of the hour. Hey, Dean.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for getting to me. Miss talking to you.
You too, buddy.
I going off of what the first caller said, I just wanted to bring back up the atmosphere in Petco Park and how proud that makes me as a fan. Just seeing that from afar, the atmosphere in the stadium, and that. I think that is unmatched in baseball. I know the Phillies got they got a great thing going in their yard during the playoffs, but right now, from what I'm seeing, Petco Park is second to none with the environment and what's been going on there during the playoffs. So
no doubt.
That makes me incredibly proud to see. I hate that I'm not there for it, but I'm at peace with it and loving watching it from afar. And really the moment from last night that stuck out with me, and I watched the replay on endless loop this morning, was the pop from the crowd when Merrill uncorked that triple. Just the immediate sound of the crowd from as soon as the ball hit the bat was that just gave me chills.
It was unreal.
Over and over. So,
it was unreal live, man. It was just
so cool to see, man.
Started buzzing, dude. Just buzzing.
I agree with Dean. I mean, in some ways, the atmosphere is really what you're going for. I mean, winning a World Series is great, but if you won a World Series like the Dodgers did in front of no fans and there's no atmosphere, it's not really what you're going for. You're going for this. The Padres already have what you really want.
Sure.
Now, the World Series is obviously
a different
level, but it's almost the cherry on top at some point. You've created what I always wanted to have as a sports fan in San Diego, and very few times in my life ever really felt a true community, a true team that was backed by its hometown, and everyone's into it, and they're watching the games, and they're cheering, and they're on their feet the whole time. It's awesome. It's awesome. All right, we'll come back. Eno Sarris is going to join us, Smart Baseball, in our 8 o'clock hour. Much more to get to. More celebration, locker room sound. Paulie was in there last night. Next on The Fan.
All right, we're halfway home on a Thursday. Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. Great to be here with you this morning, representing our underdog San Diego Padres. And just a pleasure to be able to talk baseball. Thank you guys for the calls. Pretty good calls this morning. I like what everybody had to say. And, yeah, man, excited for the weekend. Got a live broadcast we're going to be doing out at AleSmith from 2:30 to 4:30 on Saturday. And AleSmith's a really rad place, very big and spacious. So kind of need your asses in the seats to make it, well, because it's a big space. You know, if it was in the studio, you get 14 of you in here and it would be packed. But we want the bodies out there. Have some beers with us, talk a little baseball. You never know. It might even put you on the air. You never know. You never know what can happen at a live remote. Ben could give you hugs. We can do that again. I think it's a great idea. Who will be starting game one?
Bring Gas.
Yeah, bring Gas. That was loud. Dylan Cease. So maybe we can do hugs for cats on Saturday. You down?
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Raise
had people,
money for pets in San Diego, specifically cats.
I had people stopping me last night saying, "Where's Ben? I want to give him a hug." And I said, "All right, well, he's hiding from us somewhere."
I was literally as far away from you as possible.
Yeah, like Rhode Island.
I was at the top of the Marriott by myself.
Solo.
Like, I was solo. Actually, a tier 1 was at the top of the Marriott. I got a selfie with me up above him in the background. I was that far above downtown San Diego.
Jennifer just said in the chat, wait, when and where? I missed it.
Here we go. I'm going to read the whole thing.
All right, do the whole thing.
All right. Come out to AleSmith in Miramar on Saturday to see us as we broadcast live from 2:30 to 4:30 to get you ready for the San Diego-LA playoff game. AleSmith 394 Pale Ale is the official rally pint of the playoffs. Watch all of the San Diego postseason action at the AleSmith Tasting Room in Miramar with game day specials on 394 and more. Root for the hometown team with other fans while enjoying the game with sound. That's this Saturday from 2:30 to 4:30 at AleSmith in Miramar, right across from the military base, AleSmith like court. It's pretty easy to find near that big pyramid.
Yeah,
thing.
by the pyramid.
Right before, well, depending on what side you're coming from.
Right after or before the pyramid. If you're coming from the west, after the pyramid. If you're coming from the east, just before the pyramid on the north side of Miramar Road there.
I'll buy some beers again. Let's just let's have fun. Let's get weird and get fired up for a game. I got to see what's on the agenda for the fam that night on Saturday. But, yeah, there's a chance I stay and watch a couple of innings and watch Sammy's pregame and would love to just hang out with you guys, man.
Just
it's like
invited the Tier 1 baseball team,
did you?
the Tier 1 basketball
Atta
team.
boy.
Like we're going to be rolling deep Saturday afternoon.
Good. Come
Get
on
some
out.
of the TV cameras in town out.
Oh, yeah.
I
Channel
said
10
if
crew.
you're not going to LA, because I do know a lot of people are planning on driving up there this weekend and checking out game 1 and 2.
Hopefully Fox 5 comes out and hangs out with us, and Jake.
CBS 8.
Yeah. Got to spend some time yesterday with our beloved Jake from CBS.
What's his last name?
Garignani.
Pretty good, I think, yeah.
He is sharp guy.
They all
sharp
are.
guy. Darnay.
Julian.
Oh, Julian. Jesus, man. It's like we had to take a picture with him. You're like, you never know how ugly you are until you stand next to some of the guys in town. You're the elder statesman.
We were just missing Troy Hirsch.
Yeah, just missed Troy Hirsch. He was the only one we needed. Did you see my picture?
You collect their trading cards or something?
Did you see my picture with all of them? Did you?
No, I didn't see. You had a picture with all of them?
You didn't see
no,
this?
I missed this one.
Oh, man, I was trolling you on my Twitter.
Before the game yesterday.
I will go back on your Twitter account. I was so FOMO of your picture with Sheil Seidler. I think I missed the picture with you and all my TV competitors in town.
Yeah.
There they are. Look at that.
Missing you, Darnay and Troy.
Yeah, there they are.
Look how sharply dressed they are.
I know. Well, as I said, Julian got best dressed in San Diego. Wow. Jake looks pretty good, though.
He does. Too. He looks really good. I liked his jacket.
It's dangerous for you two to be standing next to those two.
It's terrible. It's a terrible, terrible feeling, man. Terrible feeling. So, yeah, bring it on out to AleSmith. Would love to see you guys and hang out. Holy cow, man. It's really happening.
All right. So I saw one of my favorite tweets I did see last night was from Megan Reindl when she said to Paulie, "Don't come home unless you're soaked in champagne." And then 2 hours later, update, he's home and it smells like Typhoon Saloon in my house. So, Paulie, you were in there in the champagne-soaked locker room last night. What was it like? I've actually never been in one of the champagne celebrations before. I'm always on the air doing live shots somewhere outside, while my other TV colleagues always get to go in and do the interviews and get soaked.
That's the question I wanted to ask. So why are they in there, but you're not?
I don't know exactly. I think I'm just on the air more. They have me actually on there. You can't go live in there if you're not a rights holder. So I'm always outside doing
You're literally
live
a
shots.
rights holder.
Not on TV though.
Oh.
So that doesn't work that way. So Paulie, what was it like in there?
It was wild. I went down into the tunnel after the end of the 8th inning.
Oh, that's nerve-wracking.
And yeah, they have TVs in the tunnel, so you're kind of watching to see how it make sure it goes the way you're hoping it does. And we're just kind of waiting in line to go into the clubhouse. And I was standing with Annie and Jeff Sanders from the UT, and we were just hanging out, watching that last half inning and talking. And Annie has been in that scene many times, and she looks around and she goes, I have never seen this many people trying to get into the clubhouse.
Wow.
The line was probably 100+ media members deep. It went all the way down the tunnel back to the home plate club.
Jeez.
And you're like, oh my God. And so you're just sitting there. Final out happens. Nobody goes in until after the players come off the field with their shirts and their hats, and then they do their own private toast with the manager, or I think yesterday was David Peralta gave the talk.
Yep.
And so that was cool. And then you could hear from the tunnel the eruption after whatever the final thoughts were from David Peralta before they all start popping bottles. But you were sitting there. We watched the giant carts full of ice and beer come rolling right on by us into the clubhouse, and then the champagne. And then they popped open the doors and said, come on in. And I just kind of walked in and was rolling on my phone. Figure I'll splice something together later. I just want to kind of collect it and have it and just observe and soak this all in.
Now, my problem is this. I am someone over the course of 49 years that has tended to, I will get caught up in the moment. And I would have feared that I would have been a bit too
participatory. You're not supposed to be participatory. You're supposed to
exuberant,
document it off on the sidelines.
Walk right up to the bucket. Oh, these beers.
Just I really know that about myself. It's part of the reason that I left. Some guys are not meant for that moment, and I believe that I'm one of them.
Now, our Annie Heilbrunn got completely drenched. Manny got her.
Toddy got
it. That's right. You got a picture of it.
Right at the end, I was kind of walking by. I just had my phone out. I started taking a picture. I saw her talking to him, and then he just dumped an entire beer right on her head.
Yeah, it's great.
As she's trying to interview him. Man, it was.
That's a sign of. That's both a sign of affection and respect.
Oh yeah,
to get 100%. That from a player during a celebration.
And had I not gotten it, I would have been very disappointed.
Very anxiety ridden.
I would have been like,
why didn't
terrible.
It was wild, dude.
They soak me.
It was just going everywhere. Champagne. You didn't know if it was champagne or beer. It was mostly beer, I think. After they did the champagne right at the start, and then it just turned to all Budweiser.
Did you see Schulte give AJ Preller a literal noogie, a literal hey man?
That was one of my favorite moments.
I died.
Grabbed him. Held him like a headlock and poured beer on his head.
Rubbed it in.
Yeah.
Dude, Hassan Kim was in there just raging with everybody.
I love it.
And that made me so happy. Of course, we played the audio earlier with Joe talking with Tony. He was doing interviews with all the people that were in there. And so you're like, okay, I hope that's a good sign. I guess if he got bad news, he probably wouldn't be smiling and talking and partying right now. He might be hiding in the back room or something. So that was comforting to see. But yeah, man, that was my first time getting to go down there and just sit there and watch. It's kind of awkward because, they're all in these little pockets of players. Pods of players, and they turn into dance circles, and the music's just raging. And I did not try to get in there. But you're kind of following the action, and all of a sudden all you're doing is trying to be aware of your surroundings. You're I don't want to be too close to somebody I probably shouldn't be. I don't want to be in the middle of anything.
Nothing.
You're I'm a little too close to the action. I'm going to just back up a little bit.
I did see the video, and I didn't see who it was. Elisa pointing it out. Ha-Sung Kim's the one who pulled back Manny's pants on his backside and poured beer right down He did not like that. I don't think.
He
Manny
said
seemed
he
like
was freezing.
Didn't like that. Yeah, he was already cold with the
But
shirt
it was
off.
fine
and
because it was him.
Now, one of you was called out by a Padres player.
Really?
Who was?
One of you.
One of us. Is that a tease?
No, we
All
still
right.
have time.
Like
Play
during
second base for the San
Crony?
Diego Padres.
It had to be me then.
Yeah.
Oh boy. For what?
He
not
walked,
being there?
He walked by and gave him a high five, and he goes, "Where the F is Woodsy?" Because he saw us earlier
Yeah,
before
I
the
talked to him
game.
earlier before the game.
And he goes, "Where the F is Woodsy?" I'm like, freaking guy left in like the fourth, and he goes, just shakes his head and walked away.
I've left in the fifth. I wanted to see my kids, man. I can't, he doesn't have kids yet. He doesn't even have a wife yet. It's different responsibilities, and I can't go 36 hours not seeing my children. And
Don't blame your children.
I'm not
on
blaming
your
them.
inability to stick it out.
It's not it.
And handle the stress of an entire baseball
That
game.
is not it. It's not it at all. If I also, let me tell you this, I felt very uncomfortable in the Odyssey suite. I felt like a freeloader. So I was like, I'm just not comfortable. It's not nothing anybody did. This is just how I'm wired. And I didn't have a seat to sit in. And, I never get to see my kids in the morning, and I was going to miss them if I stayed. And it wasn't late. I mean, you got home by probably 9:30.
I was showered and in bed by 10.
Which I can handle. I can absolutely handle that. But I
then I was up for like 2 more hours. You're
just
wired.
Wired. Yeah. And listen, I would like to be a part of one of those someday. But again, I fear.
Well,
I fear they're going to be like, hey, easy, Turbo. You're not on the team. I really do.
Well, there's
Like,
that.
There's
And then-
that.
and then with our credential mishap from our fearless leader, Adam,
Yeah.
I thought, you know what? Now I know this may not happen again in the future, so I'm going to go get it right now and just soak it in. Man, it was fun. It was really cool to see that. And
Michael says I was totally welcomed. I'm not saying that I wasn't.
It's a personal, own
it's
feeling.
how I'm wired.
That you don't feel like you belong.
It's how I'm wired.
Look,
it's
if,
just
if
how
you don't
I'm
know
wired.
how it works at the company suite on a playoff game, especially, it is full of clients.
Yeah, clients and stuff.
It's very expensive. It's show it off to your clients. So Woodsy and I went up there in the second or third inning, and we just kind of popped in and found some seats way in the back. We didn't have much of a view of the field. We were watching the closed captioning, the in studio or in stadium feed on the television, which was synced up and it worked out fine. But it was nice to just have a seat and just kind of relax for a few minutes.
We weren't sitting down in we were watching on television, but it's how I'm wired. And I was like, I can't not see them till, and actually, you told you guys we were getting a nanny to help a couple days a week to do pickups and take them to do stuff. She starts today. I wouldn't have seen them till 7 p.m. tonight for 5 minutes. I was like, I can't do it, man.
Well, I mean, again, if you are a business owner and you are interested in maybe experiencing that suite next season, please advertise with Odyssey. Michael's in our chat. Michael, I bet there's some business owners in YouTube. Drop your email and who to contact about advertising on Padres games with Odyssey. And next season, maybe you can be in the suite, and Woodsy can be uncomfortable as he comes and visits with you as the client next year.
Nails goes, Manny has a wife and kid. You didn't see him
Yeah.
nailing early. That's true. That's true. He has a baby, though. He's got a little baby. You're worthless as a father for about the first 6-8 months. They don't even really need you. So yeah, man. Listen, dude. I just couldn't do it last night. So
I want to hear from some of the players that were in that clubhouse last night. So we're going to play. I want to hear Manny. I want to hear Jackson, Merrill. We'll play some of Tony's interviews for you from after the game last night. When we come back, and then Eno Sarris at the bottom of the hour. Don't go away. More Ben and Woods coming up after Kelly's traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
All right, here we go.
Black 17 hot.
That is my number.
All right, hit me.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
A rookie mistake by the Detroit Tigers, who just dropped their playoff anthem. And I listened to it, and it's not bad. I rather enjoyed it, but it's full of cursing. So I'm glad we didn't just go live on the air with it.
Guessing this isn't an official Tigers anthem then.
I don't think so.
Doesn't seem like MLB's style to drop a curse-laden rap for their fan base.
No. But I listened to it, and it's
better or worse than That's What's In.
A little bit better.
Okay,
a little bit better. He says, "Bitch." It's really
going all the way,
bitch. Yeah, come on, bitch. It's really something else. So again, I mean, they haven't been in the playoffs in a while. You know, we hopefully learned our lesson here. And hopefully we keep.
Were
it
we
that
not
way.
an example to the rest of the world?
I mean, bro, they still play those guys on like national broadcasts, and people just point and laugh, and you're like, all right, well, hopefully we don't do that again this year. But not that it has any effect at all, but it just gives you, it just gives you that thing to be like, hey, why did we do this?
So I wanted to get to some of the celebration audio. Our Tony Gwynn Jr. went down from the booth, was ready, well prepared. I mean, he was fully geared up. He did not want to get a drop of beer or champagne on his clothes.
So I saw him. I went down right after the end of the 8th inning, and I was taking the elevator from the press box down to the tunnel, and Tony was walking in from the broadcast booth, and he was in board shorts, had the full poncho on and everything. He had a towel with him, and he goes, they ain't getting me like they did last time.
Yeah,
so
he got him.
I mean, he has to get right up in there, though, with the players when he's doing the interviews, and he knows he's going to get soaked. So he got to talk to just about everyone. Thought we'd bring a couple of those to you right here. Let's start with the captain, the minister, Manny Machado, with Tony Gwynn Jr.
I'm with the big dog, Manny Machado. Manny, you guys take care of business. You get the 2 wins. You earned the 2 off days. Just talk about what you're feeling right now.
Man, just a lot of emotions going through this right now, man. We're really enjoying it. This team has fought all year. It's been great. And, just enjoy tonight and get ready for, LA in a few days.
First at bat for you today. You come up in a big spot. You end up punching. You come up again and the next time up. And what changed in that at bat? It seemed like you got something up you could handle, took a good swing, and got things rolling.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a game of adjustments. You're facing a really good pitcher over there, and you got me that first at bat. And came up with a clean inning there with us, bases loaded, no outs, and I wanted the opportunity again, and it came up. I told Victor I wanted it again. Came into the dugout wanting it, and it happened with 2 outs. With Higgy starting it off, and our lineup with Arias, Toddy, Pro getting it. I get another opportunity, and just seize to the moment, and driving a few runs.
I asked Toddy earlier, how big has Victor Rodriguez been for you guys this year? You've been here for a long time, been through a bunch of different hitting coaches. How big has he been for this ball club this year?
I mean, he's been huge, man. He's a positive guy, as positive as you can get. And he enjoys every single moment, keeps us positive, keeps us going. Whether we're down, whether we're up, whether we're in a losing streak, winning streak, he keeps it the same every single day and keeps us positive, ready on, just ready for the task in hand, which is go out there and compete for 27 outs.
Now, you're at third base when Joe kind of had his injury go down. Did you notice anything different? Because we saw Kyle come up when Joe looked like he was about to throw another pitch. Did you not recognize anything from your side?
I didn't. Obviously, what we've been dealing with all year, and he's a workhorse, man. He goes out there, doesn't complain, doesn't do anything, and grabs the ball, and goes out there and competes. And I know he wanted to stay in there, but obviously, we need him for the long haul.
Was there any type of kind of letdown when your guy Joe Musgrove goes down? He comes, you see him having to walk off the field. Did you have to kind of have like a check yourself moment?
Yeah, it's tough. You don't want to see it. And obviously our guy, he's been our guy. He's our guy here in San Diego. He seizes up to these moments, these big moments, and always wants it. And just to see him walk off the field like that, you definitely don't want it. So yeah, you got to regroup. Kind of took a little air out of us, but we told him, we got you, man. We're gonna go out there and compete. Just get healthy, and we got you tonight.
You talked a lot about, after that LA series, you guys clinched. You talked about enjoying the moment and then being able to kind of bounce back. You guys get 2 days to kind of do that. You're going to enjoy this moment, but you know what's ahead of you up in Los Angeles. Just talk about that series. We know this is a big rivalry. It's gained more momentum since you've been here. Just talk about this upcoming series.
Yeah, man, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's been fun all year, and I expect nothing less coming forward for this next 5 games, and just leave it on the field. We got 3 more victories that we got to win and secure. So, go out there and just compete. We know they're a really good ball club, and they're not going to take it lightly. So we got to be ready, enjoy this moment tonight, but come back to business tomorrow.
Keep leading, man. You've been doing a great job all year, brother.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it.
You liked how much he wanted that opportunity again in the second inning after striking out in the first.
It's the difference in us and them.
He was
just
yelling.
The difference in us and them. If it's me, I'm like, I think my back is tight. I don't think I can go. Something happened here. Oh, hang on. No, let's get Lockridge in there.
He was like yelling. He was yelling in the dugout after the Higgy home run. He was like, "Get it back to me! Get it back to me! Get it back to me! Get it back to me!" And they did, and he delivered with that 2-run double. And of course, right after that, Jackson Merrill comes up, I mean, the kid just he does not feel pressure, apparently. I don't know how that's possible, but he apparently does not feel it. He also joined Tony Gwynn Jr. in the clubhouse after the game.
I'm here with the kid, Jackson Merrill. I mean, at this point, nothing you do seems to surprise us. You seem to step up to every moment that's there for you. Just talk about playing in your first postseason and balling at the same time.
I mean, when fans come to watch you, I feel like that's a sign you got to do as best you can. You know, you got to get it all out for them, and we got an amazing crowd here every single time.
I got to ask you a little bit about your defense in center field, because at least from up top, I've noticed the last month your route running is getting crispier and cleaner. Are you finally starting to feel comfortable patrolling center field?
I was, and then when our crowd is at the top of their lungs in the ninth and I can't hear the sound, I'm like, all right, damn. Because I thought that was a chopper. I thought he like hit it in the ground and went straight up, and then I was like, oh no, I gotta go get this. But you know, as soon as I see it, it's in the air, it's gotta be mine, you know? I gotta go get it.
That's been your attitude all year. I mean, at the plate right now, you're dialed in, it seems like, hitting the ball all over the field. This was not an easy matchup in terms of the pitching you guys saw, but once again, this lineup 1 through 9, it's deep. Just talk about having those type of guys in front of and behind you.
Yeah, I mean, we only had 1 in 1 inning with 5 runs, so it was cool to the 2-out knocks just pile up, pass the baton and just try and get a run across every single time. So when we're not trying to do too much, that's when we're at our best.
That's been your model since the first day we talked in Korea. It's continued throughout the rest of this team. One of the things that I think I get a chance to see and that folks get a chance to see is your passion for this game. You, no matter what the situation is, you seem to be always carrying a high energy. Just talk, is that part of who you are and your role on this team?
In my opinion, in my point of view, like, it's baseball, and once that at bat is over, or once that play is over, you don't get it back. So you got to give 100% at every single play, every single pitch you see, all of it. You got to lock it in, you know? That's how you got to play the game, and if you're not locked in, then you shouldn't be playing it.
Big matchup coming up.
Yeah.
Crosstown rival in the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah, it's going to be loud. It's going to be loud. It's going to be a battle, but, you know, I'm confident in our guys.
Enjoy yourself, my friend.
Let's go. Come on.
Interesting. I had not even thought of that, but obviously that catch he made to lead off the 9th inning kind of had to go back, and I mean, what a different situation that is. If that ball gets over Jackson's head, and
it's a whole different
Suarez
ball game,
is dealing
man.
with a leadoff double or triple, whole different ball game. But he made the play. He's made every single play. I hadn't thought of the sound. Effect though.
Yeah.
I mean, should we be treating this more like an NFL game where you got to be
quiet
quiet when your team's in the field? Quiet down so they can hear the crack of the bat and have the right jump off. I've never thought of that before.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Stay as loud as you can possibly be.
It's like your team's on offense. Quiet, quiet. The quarterback needs to hear his signals. The outfielders need to hear the crack of the bat to know if they are supposed to go back or forward. Interesting stuff.
Hard not to love him. And we got a chance to talk to his mom last night. Paulie and I ran into both his parents and caught up with Jeannie. And you know, we were marveling just how great he's been in center field to her. And she said, yeah, I mean, at one point this season, he goes, I guess this is just what I do now. I play center field in the big leagues. And I was like, I mean, and he's done it to such a high level. He is so much more than serviceable out in center field. And I do think, I don't know if you guys heard the audio of him kind of blowing his leverage last night, but we need to have a conversation. His agent probably calling him today saying
he did.
Yeah, he kind of blew his leverage. He's like, I love San Diego. I love it. I want to be here forever. It's like,
it was an emotional moment.
Of course.
I want to ask Eno about Jackson's defensive metrics and kind of how they've evolved over the course of the season. I'm sure he's looked into some of those numbers. Eno Sarris, our Smart Baseball segment, is coming up next. You do not want to go anywhere as Ben and Woods continues on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Love Eno to join us someday on a roundtable if he was ever in town. That would be awesome.
He would be elite.
We got a roundtable today coming up at 10 o'clock. It's our commercial-free 1-hour Padres roundtable featuring all of our hosts together. It is presented by San Diego Roundtable Pizza. For takeout or delivery, go to roundtablepizza.com. Roundtable, it is pizza royalty. We'll talk some smart playoff baseball with our friend Eno Sarris from The Athletic right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by SDG&E. Just a few things to mention here, guys. Cordell traffic cam shows a stalled pickup truck in middle lanes on southbound 15 before Scripps Poway Parkway. Also south 163 before Kearneyville Road. Tow trucks on scene of crash in the center divide. And stalled vehicle on westbound 8 near Mission Bay Drive. That's in the center divide. In peak wildfire season is a last resort. SDG&E may need to shut off power in specific areas for public safety. Learn more about public safety power shutoffs at sdge.com/PSPS. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station. 97.3 The Fan.
It's time for the super polished, yet to be named Smart Baseball Weekly segment with Eno Sarris, son of a bitch. Brought to you by 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from the ballpark by the bay in Chula Vista. Here's Eno Sarris with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Eno joining us with some smart playoff baseball here. Good morning to you, Eno.
Good morning.
So I mean, it's always good to be a smart baseball team and make good decisions. But, as you know, if you saw the movie Moneyball or read the book, the playoffs are the time when the long haul, the everything playing out, the averages, the little margins don't apply as much because it's all a sprint and short series. So, like, how much of it goes out the window when you get to the postseason, or should you always be playing the percentages that you would have been doing in the regular season?
You know, I recently went and tried to find, at least in terms of team building, the types of numbers that correlate with postseason success. And I used all the numbers that correlate with regular season success, you know, batting average, OBP, slugging, you know, defensive value, all these things. And none of them correlated to postseason success. There was a tiny bit of a relationship with just overall team strength, so wins above replacement. But it wasn't anything like, you know, wins above replacement correlates to like 85% of your wins in the regular season.
Sure.
And it's like 10% of postseason wins. So there's really nothing that really links up. The only thing I could find was defense is slightly more important than it is in the regular season, and having a good lineup is actually is about the best thing you can do in the postseason.
You know, and it's funny, man. I watched some of the games yesterday too, and I'm happy. I like to see, you know, teams like the Tigers do their thing, and teams like the Royals. It's fun for me. You know, the Padres obviously have some different expectations now based on some of the pieces they added throughout the season. You know, but nice to see those guys find a way to win 2 games against some, you know, clearly better lineups and you know, maybe equal pitching in both cases, if not superior. In the Astros and the Tigers case, you got Scooble, but you know, you went full bullpen day yesterday. It almost backfired, but they found a way to win. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, and you know, that's the thing is that you know, the way that the roster changes in the postseason can really screw with anything that you're trying to study. You know, what we've seen in the past are teams making it all the way with like 6 pitchers they trust or 5, you know? I mean, that started kind of with the Nationals. When the Nationals won it all, they didn't have a bullpen that they trusted at all, really. And they used their starters in relief and made it all the way to the end. So, you know, you get on a heater, you find some guys you trust, and that's how you get there. I think that's the sort of modern equation that people go through. You know, the only reason I distrust a team like the Royals is, you know, they won 2 games with 3 runs.
Right.
And I don't know if that's going to continue.
Is that a testament to them, or is that a testament to the Baltimore Orioles and why their inability to score runs in the for the last 2 postseasons? I mean, it's shocking. You know, I heard Steve Phillips this morning talk about, well, you know, listen, they have the makings of a dynasty there, but you'd like to win one postseason game after all the regular season success the last couple of years.
Yeah, and there's not supposedly such a thing as a hot hand. We're trying to figure that out, you know, when it comes to players. But I think when it comes to teams, it's even harder to prove there's a hot hand because the team is a collection of players. So you're going to say that a whole team goes cold, right? And yet that seems to be what's happened in Baltimore. Is, you know, they've been a 500, even I think below 500 team since the first half ended. And so they're going to have to ask some questions about maybe their hitting coaching, or you know, they've had such a vaunted system in terms of turning out major league regulars, not only Gunnar Henderson but other bats that have been really good, and yet they've fallen short. You know, they did also change their stadium to become more fair, but that has killed all right-handed power in that stadium. And that I don't know, that seems to be somewhat relevant to their issues with scoring runs. So I don't know what to tell Baltimore, because I agree with Steve Phillips that they seem to be in the right position to go on a run. But this is 2 straight years where they've kind of petered out at the end of the year.
Talking to Eno Sarris from The Athletic, and Eno, you spoke about the different strategies you sometimes see pitching-wise in the postseason, and the Padres may have to employ that with the uncertainty now with Joe Musgrove going forward and the elbow injury yesterday. As soon as, you know, maybe next Wednesday, they're going to have to decide on either a 4th starter like a Martin Perez, or perhaps going with a bullpen day with you know, they've got an elite bullpen, and you could try to piece it together. What's your kind of thinking on the way the Padres should approach this after Dylan Cease, Yu Darvish, and Michael King?
Yeah, I think you'd start the game with Martin Perez, and you know who I'm going to mention here. You can call it from a mile away.
Morihone. You're very predictable that way.
But what I love actually is, you know, I did this thing where I was trying to look at the different starting rotations and the different bullpens for the postseason, and I couldn't land on the exact right number to compare them all, but what I did is I took the first 4 starters and the first 4 relievers, and I looked at their projections. And I have projections that use Stuff Plus and along with regular numbers. And the Padres projected to have the best bullpen in the playoffs, and the Padres projected to have the best rotation in the playoffs. Now, that did include Joe Musgrove, so that's hurt a little bit. But who it didn't include was Adrian Morejon and Brian Hoeing. So, you know, they actually go 6+ deep in the bullpen, where other teams are, you know, happy to have 3 that they trust. So I think what you do is you start the game with Martin Perez, and sometimes Martin Perez is on. Yeah. And especially in San Diego, he's been throwing the curveball more, and, you know, maybe the team he's facing hasn't seen that. And maybe he can give you 3 or 4. If he only gives you 2, then you go to Hoeing and Morejon, and you get to the back end. And so it's a modified bullpen day.
Talking to Eno Sarris here on Ben and Woods this morning. So give us kind of your preview of what we're looking at this weekend with the Dodgers. Obviously, Flaherty's a really good pitcher. Yamamoto can be really devastating and nasty at times. It'll be his first playoff start. Beyond that, Walker Buehler, who threw pretty well against the Padres, and then Landon Knack, who the Padres got to, if it gets to a Game 4 situation. But I'm not taking this Dodger team lightly. Why would I? They have the most wins in baseball. They are the number one seed. They have home field advantage throughout the World Series. They're calling themselves underdogs, and no one believes in them. But I look at that team, and I remain, in respect of them, certainly.
Yeah, I mean, we can go through each of the different elements of the team, and you can say, okay, the Padres will have the starting pitching advantage, or it'll be 50-50 in every game, right? So you give the Padres the starting pitching advantage. You look at the bullpen, you say, well, okay, the Padres have the bullpen advantage. Then you go to the lineup, and though the Padres were a great lineup and in some ways superior to the Dodgers lineup during the regular season, the Dodgers lineup didn't really become whole until the end of the season. Yeah. They were missing a lot of guys throughout the season. And it's important because when you have those guys back, even somebody like a Muncy, they replace somebody like a Kike Hernandez who's not that good with the bat, right? So there's fewer holes now in this Dodger lineup than there have been at different parts of the season. So I would give the lineup probably a slight edge to the Dodgers. So this is a really evenly matched situation. I think they go 8-5. The Padres went 8-5 against the Dodgers during the regular season. They were all tight games. I expected to go 7. But I've been picking the Padres to go all the way. So.
I wish it was 7. It's 5. Yeah, I said the same thing earlier. I don't expect.
I think Major League Baseball might want it to go 7 at this point. They're so hyped about this series. Get a couple more ratings boosts for Game 6 and 7.
So I walked into yesterday. I went up to say hi to our radio guys, Jesse Agler and Tony Gwynn Jr. And Tony Gwynn Jr. and AJ Casabell, one of our writers, were going at it in the room about how you fix the playoffs, right? If it needs fixing. I know it's a small sample size, the rest versus rust situation, which is fascinating.
AJ's
to
a
me.
rebel. He'd get rid of the infield fly rule if he could. He would give you an RBI and a double play if he could.
As he should, by the way.
He's a rebel.
That's a run batted in. I don't care what anybody says. I give it to my adult league team. If you hit a double play, you get an RBI. You drove in a run. That being said, it's only been a couple of years of the new system. The Astros were really the only one to be able to kind of get through it so far, and even they didn't even get through the wild card this year. But when you look at it, I heard AJ say, get rid of a couple of regular season games and play best of 7s throughout. And I would sign up for it today because there's nothing better than this. Nothing.
That's an interesting thing. I think we've had in this wildcard format, 10 out of 12 have been sweeps. And I think it's just weird that you just get that momentum of that first win and then it's over.
Then it could be over,
for the most part. There is an interesting system. Everything about the playoffs, is not only just about the playoffs themselves, but about the value of the regular season. Because, that's why you give buys, because those teams were so great during the regular season that they deserve a bye in the first round. You don't want to devalue the regular season because it's so long. And honestly, if you devalue it, then why do we do it for 6 months,
right.
So one thing that they do in Korea that's kind of interesting is that basically the home team in the wild card series starts the series basically 1-0. Like the road team has to win 2, but the home team only has to win 1.
Wow.
I sort of see that, though. You really give a team an advantage to winning the regular season. Now, it's funny, though, because if they both finish with 89 wins and it comes down to a tiebreaker, that seems like a huge advantage over two teams that had identical seasons. Whereas, you could have a wild card team that wins 106 games playing an 82-win wild card team, and then it feels like maybe not enough of an advantage there.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that system is good for sort of valuing the regular season. I don't know what it does. It doesn't feel very upsetty. It makes it very hard to do upset, I guess. And then people like upsets. So
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah. So you don't want to devalue that. And then if you one thing that I do not like about the basketball playoffs, and I like the NBA, is that they're too long. They're really long. They let too many teams in, and the first round is pretty much awful. I mean, I don't know that we've had an upset with the current NBA rules. I don't think we've had a first round upset in forever, and it's mostly a bad team against a good team in the first round, and you're just like, why am I watching? Why do they have to have multiple games of this? I think that's something you want to do too. It's like watch how many you let in. You don't want to devalue the postseason by letting too many people in and making it too long.
Before you go, I teased this question, so I wanted to ask you because you did say that defense does get a little bit more important in the postseason. I want to ask about Jackson Merrill's defense, and I don't know how much you looked into the metrics, how hard it is to project a guy who'd never played center field and how he would do, but he seems like he's getting even better and better. I know his outs above average, really, really good for a rookie that he never played the position. What were some of your impressions this season of Jackson in center?
Yeah, I got to vote for the Gold Gloves this year, for the Fielding Bible awards. And so I looked into center field, and I was really impressed. I don't know that I probably shouldn't reveal, but I didn't give him the number one spot. I mean, it's kind of a clearer number one, I think, but he's in my top 5, and I thought he did a really excellent job. One of the things that you can tell before you put a guy in center is that wheels are important. And he obviously has the wheels. Youth is important. We've stopped giving any center field appearances to guys over 30. I think there were like 2 of them this year in all of baseball. So, you get to youth, you got your speed. And I think that, just having him out and left a little bit gave him the idea. There are some guys that have a little bit of trouble tracking the ball when it's what's in the air. I remember Daniel Murphy, they put him out in the outfield and he just couldn't see the ball or whatever it was. So, once they saw that he could handle left field, I think it was pretty obvious that he could handle center.
Eno, really appreciate it as always. Hopefully you can get down to San Diego for a playoff game at some point. We'd love to see you. Either way, we'll talk to you next Thursday. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, buddy.
Eno Sarris, Smart Baseball, presented each week by 7 Mile Casino.
My God.
Insight from one Eno Sarris. All right, Woods, we've got 1 hour left until the roundtable, of course. I know.
I forgot about it.
We will come back. Paulie's got some Reindl Report headlines. Do you have that wrap edited yet from the Detroit Tigers? We need to talk about the other games. We haven't really gotten into the other games yet.
It'll take him an hour.
But we will discuss the other 3 wild card series and more when we return with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All right, I got one wish here at 9 o'clock that Joe's elbow is as good as his taco. We just tried a Joe's Autobata taco this morning here, courtesy of Puesto,
That was
ballparks,
unbelievable.
downtown, got some locations. Tomorrow's actually National Taco Day, we found out, and Mandy came by and dropped off some tacos, including Joe's Autobata Taco Special in partnership with Joe Musgrove. He likes his Mexican food. I mean, you see him on the Los Quan ads eating 17 burritos in front of him. He's a good San Diegan. He likes his Mexican food, and if there's any power in tacos to cure what ails you in your elbow, I do think there is power in tacos. He's got a good one right now.
That was fantastic.
That was really good.
Had a little grilled pineapple on there. Oh, my God. It was perfect. All right, there's just...
Paulie's showing it off right now.
To let everybody know, if you're looking at Paulie's screen in a minute, you might be able to see the window washers are right outside of our windows, and it's quite unnerving.
To you?
To me.
I mean, are you worried they're going to break in somehow?
No, I'm worried that they're going to fall.
Well, that's really more of a them problem.
But it's not. That means I have to see it, man. So your back is to them, but I'm watching them slide up and down, clean these windows, and it is.
I appreciate them because I like a good view out the window on the 6th floor here.
You appreciate them because they are cleaning your windows.
Exactly.
Lord,
I don't want to clean it myself.
No, I mean you couldn't.
But I'm not really afraid of heights.
No, I am. I'm not a fan.
I mean, if you walked out on that platform that they've got, it's like a normal space where you could walk around. I mean, you don't just fall down in normal life when you're walking on a flat space. Why would you fall? Because you're 6 floors above the ground.
It's hanging from a string.
It's hanging from a cable or two, maybe.
Hanging from a couple of strings.
I'm sure they have a safety wire attached. Now, that would be terrifying. If you actually did fall and then you're just dangling by the safety wire, I would not want that for sure.
No. And that's a possibility every day.
You believe they're underpaid. You don't know what they're paid, but you think they're underpaid.
I promise you, whatever they're paid is about 10 times less than what they're actually worth. You could give me $500,000 a year to wash windows. I couldn't do it. I'd make it one afternoon and go, that's it for me. I'm not a big fan of heights, nor dangling from the 6th floor. I mean, look how much it's moving.
I'm not
dude.
looking. I don't like to see them.
It is terrible. Hey, Woodsy, you want to do your own stunts? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Holy cow, man. Anyway.
So it's all set in the American League. Both division series are set. The wild card series are over. The Kansas City Royals sweep the Baltimore Orioles.
They are in the chamber
and are off to face the New York Yankees in Game 1 of the ALDS on Saturday. Meanwhile, the Detroit Tigers, we talked about them a little bit earlier, surprising upset in Houston, taking both games from the Astros. They are on their way to Cleveland for an AL Central matchup against the Guardians. That'll be the first game on Saturday at 10:08 a.m. So the AL series are set. Padres-Dodgers obviously is set. And we got one more series to decide. A Game 3 tonight in Milwaukee, 4 o'clock first pitch. The Mets could not close out Game 2 yesterday despite having a 3-1 lead. The Brewers rallied with 4 runs in the 8th inning. Jackson Churio hit not 1 but 2 game-tying home runs in that game.
Man.
Our Jackson is coming up big in the postseason. Their Jackson is as well. And the Brewers pushed it to a Game 3 with a 5-3 win yesterday. So they will have Tobias Myers on the mound in Game 3 against Jose Quintana for the Mets at 4 o'clock later this afternoon. And the winner gets the Phillies.
Quite
in the NLDS.
I love what he said. Look, I love in the American League, it's just the Central against the Yankees is what it is basically right now. The much maligned Central.
And had the Mets held on, the Central would be totally gone from the National League.
Yeah.
The Milwaukee Brewers still have a shot though in that series. Now, I assume if you're the Phillies, you're more than happy to see those two teams continue to battle. I mean, if the Mets make it through, they will have played critical games all weekend, a doubleheader on Monday, 3 huge games, including, an eliminator possibly today against Milwaukee using all the pitching. They're going like, hey, make this as hard as possible, for the Mets or the Brewers to advance in this series before we just wait with Zach Wheeler rested and fresh and ready to go on Saturday, presumably Aaron Nola on Sunday, to have the advantage in that matchup.
It's been fun to watch, man. It really has. And I thought what A.J. Hinch did yesterday, man, it was pretty legendary. It was just one after the other, and you could see the grin on his face. I mean, I think managers like doing that. I mean, obviously, not every pitcher you have is a horse that's going to go out there and give you 7, right? And if you have to be creative, he was as creative as it could get. And he did did you see the Jackson Jobe? He put Jackson Jobe there. He'd just been called up. He's their number 1 prospect. And they put him in, and he served it up, man. He gave up the tying run, but they got right back, picked him up. And, AJ kind of puts his arm around him. He's like, don't worry. I heard a great story about him yesterday.
Jackson Jobe?
No, A.J. Hinch. So Spencer Torkelson was their number 1 pick a couple years ago, and I remember we covered it, and we were like, good God, man, we're watching videos of that guy. Like, this guy's going to hit 50 homers. Like, he's unbelievable talent. Well, it didn't go well because it's really hard to hit in the big leagues. And he ended up getting sent down this season, and they said that A.J. Hinch would call in, check with him, and say, hey, man, you're good. Like, you're going to be back. You're part of this team. Like, really took him under his wing. Part of our future. Yeah, I thought that was just the coolest thing. And obviously AJ knows how to win and has done a really, really phenomenal job in Detroit. Just a really cool story for them, and just a team that needed that.
I thought the Astros were going to come back, and I had a lot of faith in Hunter Brown, which he was good. A 1 earned run, 9 strikeouts yesterday. But the bullpen game kept him in it, and all it takes is 1 rally. That's all it takes, and the Tigers got their 1 rally and beat Josh Hader to win that series. So they move on. So that's what happened yesterday. I think Paulie's got a little bit more though for us coming up on our Reindl Report.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All right. Gentlemen, just 2 stories for you. I was going to include all of the rest of yesterday's action. We just got to it right there.
Sorry, Paul.
In the wild card round. No, perfectly fine.
Okay.
So, just a quick football story. We actually probably could have and should have done this, and I don't do this week.
This is unbelievable.
God.
This is unbelievable. I can't believe it.
Rashee Rice, wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Just got hurt, right? Yeah.
He got hurt on Sunday.
Oh, you remember his offseason?
Suffered a knee injury.
Remember his offseason? The
100-mile-an-hour,
30-mile-an-hour accident he got in Dallas, here in Dallas, and they just got hurt, out for the season after last week's game.
It's been a rough year.
Yeah.
And then again he gets hurt, leaves the game on Sunday. That's never good. And then you got to deal with some extracurricular activities that you really had nothing to do with yourself. I don't know what it is about the Chiefs players and their family members just absolutely putting them in the torture chamber, but Mama Rice,
what are you doing?
Is in a little bit of trouble. Marsha Kearney is her name, and she has a Chiefs jersey that says Mama Rice on the back. So there's
custom Chiefs jersey for her son.
There's no mistaking who she is.
Right.
And she's in trouble because, well, she got caught on Ring camera footage of her stealing her neighbor's package, which
off the doorstep,
kind of kicked it away from where she thought the camera might pick her up.
But she was wearing
that
Chiefs
jersey
custom
that says Mama Rice. Very clear to spot.
So she knew there was a camera because she was trying to avoid it, but she still didn't bother to change or at least put on a neutral sweatshirt or something.
She kind of walks past the door and then comes back into the frame, and you're like, oh my God. So she's wearing the jersey. It's very easy to tell exactly who it is. And
what was so important that she had to steal?
Well, I don't know if she knew what it was.
That's true. It's kind of it's one of those mystery gift games.
But
when
we
you're stealing packages.
We did find out that the package included several Chapel Roan vinyl records.
Oh, wow.
From Urban Outfitters. So maybe she saw it was an Urban Outfitters box and thought, hey, they got a little bit of everything.
But Urban Outfitters sells Chapel Roan vinyl.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they sell vinyl there.
A lot of
They
music
do?
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
When's the last time have you ever set foot in Urban Outfitters?
I assumed they sold outfits. Like clothes. Is it not a clothing store?
It is.
Okay.
But it's all
They also have vinyl.
They've got vinyl, they got some knickknacks and all kinds. It's a cool store. I mean, actually do not go in there solo at 49 years old.
It sounds like you're describing like Target.
Yeah, I mean, but there's
no groceries.
There's got some stuff
minus groceries.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But you can get
Cleaning supplies.
Right.
No,
No,
not at Urban Outfitters.
It's clothes and you know,
candles
kitschy
and-
candles and
yeah.
vinyl and stuff like that.
So Bed Bath and Beyond.
No, it has clothes.
All right. Bed Bath and Beyond with clothes.
Urban Outfitters. It's its own thing.
its
It's
own
Urban
thing.
Outfitters.
It's like you don't go to a taco shop and be like, yeah, but I mean,
There are more stores than just
are you guys
Costco,
like
Ben.
McDonald's, right? Like,
Costco has everything now. Why? I can get clothes. I can get knickknacks.
you can't get
I just get a
knickknacks.
lot of them at once.
But it's for younger kids. So don't go in there
Jada
solo.
the Jail says they sell prank stuff like whoopee cushions.
Yeah.
So it's Spencer Gifts.
Oh my God, it's
But
Urban Outfitters.
Spencer Gifts.
It's
but with
Urban
clothes.
Outfitters. Just don't go in there, by yourself.
Why?
Because you'd look like a creep. Because there's a bunch of 16, 17-year-old girls in there. Yeah. And nothing's fitting you there. Nothing. Me neither.
Like Five Below.
I don't know what that is.
That's like the new
No,
dollar store,
that's
except it's $5
$5
or less.
and less.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
I don't know that anything is $5 or less.
At Urban Outfitters.
Yeah, he is a one-stop shop kind of guy.
Oh,
Drew.
yeah. I like the one stop.
Yeah, he does.
All right, and then finally,
You get gas at Costco, too.
You can.
Yeah.
finally, I
Can you
decided
get it
to
at
do
Urban
some
Outfitters?
You cannot.
Okay.
some fun audio for our final story here. Just a abbreviated version of all the calls. If you missed our Padres Wrap-Up or you forgot our Padres Wrap-Up, it's 2.5 hours ago, you definitely heard Jesse Agler's call of the Higgy bomb from yesterday, the one to tie it up 1-1 in the second inning. Here's Jesse Agler if you missed it.
1-2 pitch is hit in the air to deep left field. Laureano is back. He is at the wall. Oh my goodness, it's gonna go. Kyle Higashioka takes it out for the second consecutive night and a 1-1 game here in the second inning.
It's pretty good. Pretty good call.
Yeah, very good call.
Unfortunately, Jesse, and I'm assuming ESPN, were both upstaged by the GOAT, Eduardo Ortega.
He wasn't a finalist for the Hall of Fame this year. They just announced him. He's not on there yet. Got to get him on. Got to get him into the Hall of Fame.
The Ford Frick, right?
The Ford Frick
Yeah.
Award. He's not one of the 10 finalists.
Listen to this call. I'm going to turn down the Reindl Report music and just allow you to listen to all of Eduardo Ortega last night. Higgy's home run.
A punto de matar la entrada en orden. Lanza Max Fried para Higashioka. La prendió por el izquierdo. La repitió. Paga caro. Vuela la bola. La va a sacar. Se empató el juego. Iggy. Segundo día consecutivo en los wild card. La botó ayer en la octava para la cuarta carrera del equipo. Swing con 2 outs. A la calle. Higashioka. Ra. Juego nuevo, estremece, Perco revive la emoción, la marea dorada. Los Padres regresaron en la segunda entrada.
Bueno, Eduardo, lo estaba diciendo.
Fantastic.
I love how he says Higashioka. It's a little bit different than we say it. It's more Higashioka. I like that.
Yeah, it's great.
It was good.
¡Empató el juego!
Higgy, yeah. I heard something about izquierda, which is left.
Here it is.
Higashioka.
I love him so much, dude.
Unbelievable.
We got a Juego Nuevo, new game.
New game.
All tied at 1. Good stuff from Eddie, as always.
Got to see our beloved Carlos Hernandez yesterday.
Rolls his
Sweet
R's
angel.
in a way I could never dream of rolling his R's.
Yep.
Oh, you got to see Carlos too?
Yeah,
that was him and the little color at
best.
the end.
The best.
Did you see Fernando is stepping aside, at least temporarily, got some health concerns from his color commentary.
Oh, Fernando Valenzuela.
Duties with the Dodgers, apparently. But they're hopeful he'll be back next season. But
It's like, just be careful when you throw around the words.
Yeah, Fernando
health
stepping back.
concerns.
Right,
Fernando Valenzuela.
Yeah.
He was a Padre as well. So I have a little more warm feelings towards him than maybe some other
Sure.
ex-Dodgers.
Makes
just
sense. Yeah, you don't want anybody to,
He was on a really good, the 1996 Padres team that won the division and went to the playoffs and spent some time here as well. So best wishes to Fernando Valenzuela.
Best wishes.
But not the rest of the Dodgers,
Right.
obviously. All right, Paulie, good job with the Reindl Report there. Sorry I stole some of the thunder on the other games, but
No, happy.
Hey, we get it covered. We wanted to make sure we talk about all of it.
Either before or after the long intro, it does not matter.
All right, little preview of the roundtable coming up, and we talked about it a little bit with Eno. But how do you tackle this series if you don't have Joe Musgrove available? We've brought up a couple of the options. I want to throw one more out that hasn't been discussed yet. We'll get to that coming up next with Ben Woods after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
Saw a lot of people wondering why Yu Darvish was not, the first option out of the bullpen. I mean, he was out there. Joe gets hurt in the fourth inning yesterday. All right, perfect situation. You can take over. You can warm up as long as you'd like. Or Matt Scraby pointed out something that is actually fairly obvious, but with the situation when a pitcher gets hurt and you could take as many warm-up pitches as you want. They always make them do it on the mound, though, instead of just do it in the bullpen and then come back out to the mound for your last few. It's that awkward where you could be out there 4 or 5, 6 minutes,
just getting loose
out there in front of an entire sold-out crowd of people. It is really an awkward situation, but that's just how they do it.
I thought the same thing. I thought, maybe a moment for Yu Darvish. This is why I put him in there.
I thought it as well.
I thought maybe if let Hoeing get out of the inning and then Yu Darvish comes in and starts a clean.
You know who else
fifth.
did? Is our boss Adam Klug was vehemently. He wanted it so badly, and I told him. I said this was before the game. This was before Joe got hurt. He said, "So do you get Yu in tonight?" And I go, "Why? Do you piggyback Yu?" And I said, "Why would you do that?" And I said, "That's a Dave Roberts move. That's a chasing a moment that you don't need to chase for a guy that doesn't pitch out of the bullpen just because he's in the bullpen." I go, "You went out and got a ridiculous bullpen for a reason."
That's the break glass in case of emergency.
That's it's like norovirus rips through the bullpen and you have to use somebody. You know what I mean? There's no reason to chase that moment, which is not a moment Yu Darvish needs.
Well, it's possible that Mike Schilt just thought, okay, this is our best strategy. It's also possible that it's a window into their thinking for this upcoming series against the Dodgers. We know Dylan Cease was going to be ready for Game 3 or saved for Game 1 on Saturday. But if you want Yu Darvish to pitch in Game 2, you wouldn't want to pitch him on Wednesday because then he'd be pitching on 3 days rest. So if you had him go 3 or 4 innings, you probably would burn him for Game 2 of the series and have to hold him back for Game 3 in San Diego on Tuesday, which is possible because Michael King can pitch on Sunday on normal rest. Remember, he pitched on Tuesday, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 4 days, normal rest. You could go back with Michael King in Game 2. What would you say are the pros and cons there? I would assume it's going to be Cease, Darvish, King back on Tuesday at Petco Park, but you could go Cease King right off the bat with maybe your number 1 and 2 options.
Does it change if you win Game 1 or lose Game 1 with Cease?
Yeah, I mean,
do you want to play it by ear, or do you want to have the guys just ready and locked in and knowing where they're going to pitch?
I think it's the playoffs. I think you can play it by ear. I think you should play it by ear. I think they probably will play it by. I mean, I could be wrong. We may get a chance to catch up with Mike Schilt tomorrow here on Ben and Woods, and if not on our show, then on Gwen and Chris.
And I'm sure he'll be very forthcoming with all of these details.
Tell us exactly what his plan is. But I mean, gonna ask the question certainly. But I see what your point is, Benny. About you're going 1, you're going 2.
Well, I haven't gotten my final point.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
The final I was waiting.
The final point would be if you started King in Game 2, you would have the option of either Cease or King in a Game 5 on Friday.
Yes.
Whereas if you wait and use King in Game 3, he won't be able to come back on Friday because that would just be 2 days rest. But if you pitch him on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, if it goes the distance to Game 5, you could bring him back. Or you just wait and use Dylan Cease again. But, I mean, if King is as nasty as he was in Game 1, we haven't seen Dylan Cease. Maybe he'll be just as nasty. You'd at least have the option of both of those guys in a potential winner-take-all Game 5 scenario at Dodger Stadium next Friday, which I don't know if they're going to do. I mean, you'll have the option of you or Dylan possibly in that scenario if you pitches on Sunday, but Michael King would just be one and done. He'd pitch Tuesday. That would be his only appearance in the Dodgers series if that's currently the plan. Any thoughts on does that impact your decision of trying to move Michael King up?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think
I'd go King second because win or lose on Saturday on Game 1, you can spin it. If you pull it off and get the win on the road, then you're putting arguably your best pitcher in Game 2, and you're like, we're going for the throat now to take a 2-0 series lead with both games on the road. And if you lose Game 1, then you're like, well, now here comes the stopper,
right?
And we get back on it, even series, go back to San Diego.
Yeah, I think Look, I trust them to make the right decision. And listen, it's we're at the point in the playoffs where, see if you follow me here. It's really just about execution. It's about, this is the team we have. Like Jake Cronenworth is struggling. Xander Bogaerts is struggling. Okay, I need them to play good defense then. I need them to run the bases well if they happen to get on base. There's the little things where, you're not going to make knee-jerk reactions. This is what we have. I'm fine either way. I really am. I don't know that you have to go crazy, moving guys up, moving guys around. I'm down to keep guys on regular routine, but with a guy like you, Darvish, now with Joe going down, you absolutely need him. Now, it could, you mentioned earlier, and Eno talked about it. What if you, Darvish, goes, does he have the potential to go 6? Yeah. Does he have the potential to go 2? Sure. Just like anybody against that potent lineup. So the same thing could happen to Michael King. So there's a part of me that goes, name your starters and go for it. See what happens.
In my mind, there are 2 paths to winning a best-of-5 series when you're the road team, essentially.
The
underdog.
Yeah.
When you don't have home field advantage.
Right. The underdog.
So you can either win 1 at Dodger Stadium of the 3 and sweep your 2 at home,
Correct.
or you take 2 of 3 at Dodger Stadium and you split the 2 at home.
Right.
Obviously, there's a scenario where, hey, you win all the road games, they win all the road games. It's rare. It's happened. Happened in the World Series a couple of years ago, remember, when the road team won every single game. Yeah. But you don't see that very often. So really, you're looking to either at least steal 1 at Dodger Stadium and then hold serve at home on both of your games, or take 2 out of 3. The way it's set up right now, you're going to be having the 3 games at Dodger Stadium would be probably Cease, and it could either be Darvish or it could be Cease, King, and Cease. Do you have a better chance of winning 2 of 3 at Dodger Stadium with Cease, King, and Cease, or you go Cease, Darvish, and Cease, and then hopefully you take both games at Petco Park with King and Martin Perez bullpen day?
Would be Cease?
5.
Cease, Darvish, Cease would still get him 5 days.
That would get him 5 days for Game 5, or you could have Darvish, or if King goes, whoever goes Game 2 could pitch Game 5 on 4 days rest. Whoever goes Game 1 could pitch Game 5 on 5 days rest.
Okay.
Or you could even think about bringing someone back on 3 days rest from Saturday to Thursday.
I think Cease is a no-brainer
Saturday
for Game 1.
Wednesday, I'm sorry.
No-brainer for Game 1.
All I'm hearing is that you could have Cease and King available for Game 5 if needed.
Yeah.
I mean, season's on the line.
Right. Yeah.
There is no tomorrow.
If there's a Game 5, it's all hands on deck.
I mean,
True.
Yeah, that's.
Where do you want you pitching? You want you pitching at home? You want?
I don't know. I think that's part of the
Stadium?
equation. We know that Michael King pitched really, really well in front of that adrenaline fueling crowd at Petco Park.
I think I'm now sold to the point where I'll be disappointed if it's not Cease, King, Darvish.
Then King
Cease,
doesn't
Darvish,
pitch at all
King.
at home again,
right,
in that series.
Michael King at home in Game 3. Nasty.
Which is, I think, what they're thinking right now. That would be my expectation.
Yeah, but now I like the idea of
I know.
seeing him twice if needed in that 5-game series.
Well, he'll still be available. He'll be available.
If he pitches Wednesday or Tuesday, it'd be on 2 days rest. Maybe out of the bullpen, you could save him for an inning or something.
Cease would be available.
Cease would be fully available.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea. This stuff gives me tired head. I just want to win baseball games. It gives me the biggest tired head of all time.
I actually think that there are some people who enjoy this type of conversation about.
I mean, we're just throwing darts
series.
at a board, though. We have no idea what they're playing.
There's only like 5 darts, though. I mean, there's only so many ways you can throw them at the board, and we're just trying to figure out the best ways to throw our darts here.
Nails. This is Perez, Waldron, Darvish. Yeah, really mix it up. Really, hey, we're saving our guys for the CS, so don't worry about it. We're going to see what we can do with these 3 guys.
I mean, if you're the Dodgers, though, and the Padres do throw a Martin Perez bullpen day, you feel like that's the one you've got to win that
man.
one.
Yeah.
And I don't know that's an easy game to win. If the Padres' arms are on, as Eno said, we've seen really good Martin Perez. Martin Perez can give you 5 innings, 1 run. He's done it against a lot of teams. If he does that and then turns it over to the Padres bullpen, or even 4 innings, 1 run, turns it over to the bullpen,
go get it.
They'll probably be going up against a Landon Knack or a Buehler or a Dodger bullpen day. Not necessarily an advantageous situation for the Dodgers in a game like
Honestly, both teams are in kind of a similar situation with how they're going to deploy their bullpen, when they're going to deploy their bullpen. What's the right time to? I think I think Jack Flaherty is a guy they're going to let go some distance, and I think Yamamoto, if he's on, he's a guy that can give you 5 or 6 for sure. But if one of those guys falters, or if one of our guys falters, man, you're going to see 2 really, really aggressive managers in this series, as they should be.
Will we see Joe Musgrove again in the postseason? We'll bring that back. We still have that audio from Joe. We can play it again if you missed it. Final segment of Ben and Woods before the roundtable is coming up next. Don't go anywhere. San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. have this image in my mind, Woods, of Joe like sticking his arm into some sort of MRI chamber right now. I don't know exactly how those work in terms of the scans. I know the full body one, like they put you in a tube and everything.
I did that recently, yeah.
I don't know if they have to do that just for an elbow or it's a little.
I think they do.
You have to go in the whole tube thing
probably.
for just an elbow?
Yeah, because I was doing mine on my heart, like a calcium test, and they just slide you right in.
I mean, that's right in the middle. I mean, the elbow is a little more extremity.
Put your. I think you probably
put your arm in.
I think you go in there.
It's like a tube you can stick it in.
It's not like when you go to CVS in the 90s and get your blood pressure at that machine.
Yeah.
I mean, they should invent that if they don't have it already.
They still have those machines.
Do they really?
I think so.
I think
the
so.
blood pressure cuff.
Why? Why are you killing
me?
Why is this thing? This thing is the death grip of my arm.
Yourself a little bit. All right, let me see if I can lower my heart rate and my blood pressure into acceptable levels that don't require me to go to the emergency room.
Well, and it's like a tourniquet. I mean, it's like a huge. And it's good God, dude.
The pharmacy at our local grocery store when I was a kid had one of those, and I would always like leave my mom while she was shopping to go.
Oh, 100%.
Stick my arm in that thing and see how tight it would get. I had no idea what he was doing.
Device. Yeah,
no idea.
Dan says they have chairs you can sit in now for MRIs, and then Rafa says some of his patients will go in for the full thing. I think it's maybe doctor dependent or machine dependent. But yeah, we're not in a position or a profession where MRIs are common. Sorry, Benny's gonna be a little late. He's got to go get another MRI. Whatever. It's so weird in baseball, and you do see it all the time. People going, Joe needs to just get the surgery, man. Just get the surgery. It's like, it's so easy. Everybody loves to say that.
That's true.
You got to get the surgery, bro. Do you know how, devastating a surgery can be? And everyone just looks at athletes like, just go get the surgery, man.
Stop putting it off.
Stop putting it off.
Just get it done.
Just get the surgery
You gotta get
done.
back. You got to get back.
Like, have you ever had surgery?
Yeah.
Any surgery?
Have you ever had surgery?
Even the smallest incision can hurt so bad.
And the recovery and the rehab and all that. Yeah, man, I get it. They're highly paid athletes, and but we're very flippant. I'm saying the collective royal we, Ben. We're very flippant about just go get the surgery. You'll be fine.
So I want to play the audio again. Tony caught up with Joe after the game. Obviously, he's kind of got that euphoria of the team just winning, and he's going to be as optimistic as possible. So you do have to. You have to listen to the Joe interview with that in mind. Yet, you also have to trust that Joe knows his body and his arm better than probably, I don't know, Frijoles in the chat probably knows his arm and his body.
What did Frijoles do?
I just saw his name right there. I'm sorry, Frijoles. There's no
suck it, Beans.
Sorry, Beans.
No personal offense intended. And better than I know his arm or his body. So you trust that what he's saying, he's got the experience to know, and he was fairly optimistic. Here was Tony with Joe Musgrove after the game last night.
I'm here with Joe Musgrove, and Joe, obviously there's a million people out here hoping that you're all right. Just tell us how you're feeling right now.
Yeah, I feel a lot better now. Physically I felt better. I do feel like I got out of there in time to, hopefully able to patch this thing up and get back out there before postseason's over. So
I told Kyle Gashioka I thought he might have had the best catch, not allowing you to throw that next pitch as he ran out. Because it certainly looked like you were about to throw another pitch, despite feeling how you were feeling. What is it like to have a teammate be able to know you just from your body language?
Yeah, I was out there kind of hoping he would notice and come get me. I really wanted to finish that inning and get out of there clean and be able to, come out during the game. I got to wear this one. I think honestly it was the best thing that he came out and got me. I feel like I was a few throws away from putting myself out. So I would have loved to stay out there, but I feel like it's probably the best move for me and the team. I don't know how good my stuff would have been carrying on.
Your bullpen came in, held it down for you despite your injury. What has it meant to have guys really do that all season long, whether it's for you or anybody else out there?
That's what we talk about, the confidence in this team. It's like everyone's got their own version of confidence, but it's really the confidence in one another in the group. Like I felt completely confident leaving that game and knowing the bullpen would pick me up. Obviously I hate to put Hoeing in that spot and put the innings on the bullpen, but with a lead like that and a chance to clinch today, we felt pretty good about our odds.
I'm not going to hold you too long, man. Go enjoy yourself, get patched up, and hopefully we see you in L.A.
Sure. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, Joe Musgrove, Tony Gwynn Jr., and he thinks that he can get himself, back in a place where he could pitch again in the postseason. I would love if that was the case. I really would.
I'm going to be, I'm not to throw cold water on it because you never know, man. Stranger things have happened, certainly. But I think I, just as a fan myself, am preparing to have to figure it out in another direction. And luckily, A.J. Preller did a good job at restocking, what we have. This team is still a deep team. We did it without Joe Musgrove for a long, long time this season. We did it without Yu Darvish for a long, long time. Those players remember that. They know that. And they know that they can overcome a lot. They had the best record in baseball in the second half. Yeah.
Second best.
Second best behind the Dodgers, right?
No, the Dodgers had the best.
Dodgers.
We had the best, and the Dodgers had the second best.
So you can do it. You've done it. So I don't know that, yes, you miss Joe Musgrove. He will still be there to help and try to get back, but I'm preparing for the worst because I think you have to.
You could hear it in Joe's voice, though. One of the hardest things for a competitor like Joe is standing aside.
Of course.
When you don't want to. And he acknowledged after the game, probably for the best, that Higgy went and got me. You saw the velocity drop on the curveballs. I mean, had he stayed out there, who knows? Atlanta might tee off on him for a couple of batters. They don't notice for a couple of batters, all of a sudden gives up a few runs. It's a different game. They may have been better off with Higgy going and getting Joe and making that call. And at some point, Joe may have to make that call himself. Like, are we better off with me trying to suck it up? I think I can go out and pitch a game, but what if he goes out and tries and he's not Joe Musgrove and puts his team in a bad spot in like the first inning? That's a tough call. And, the team and Joe are going to have to weigh all the factors going forward of what that looks like.
Question, with the workout day scheduled for tomorrow up in L.A., do we know around when the playoff roster needs to be submitted for this round? Is it still Saturday morning? Is there a
I believe
deadline?
it won't be until officially Saturday morning, just like it was Tuesday morning for the wild card series.
That'll tell us something. If he's even on.
Yes,
if he's
it
on
will
it.
tell. Yeah,
I'm not expecting.
I'd be surprised if he's on this one.
Yes.
I'm hoping for Joe. Get back and feel healthy enough to throw like Joe in the NLCS at best.
And bring me the big, tall right-hander, Sean Reynolds. Would love to see him out of that bullpen. Electric type
You're
stuff.
also going to need to add Martin Perez probably as well.
Correct.
So you got some more decisions to make. The back end, does Yuki Matsui not make the second round after he was there the first round? Didn't use him, obviously, in either of those two games. You just heard him talk about it, though. Maybe maybe sung hero now of the first two games, Kyle Higashioka. I want to get into a little more Higgy right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by the roofing professionals at Extreme Roofing of San Diego. Guys, I like what I'm seeing. No incidents, no accidents. The only headache you might encounter is some road work along westbound 8 between Lake Murray and College. That left lane blocked till 3 o'clock for some paving going on. So, just keep that in mind in your travels. Other than that, things are looking pretty good. Cordell Traffic Cam shows car fire has cleared up on northbound side of the 805 before Plaza Boulevard. Seems just a little residual there. Mother Nature is unpredictable, and so is the San Diego rain. Don't wait till your roof suffers damage. Call Extreme Roofing of San Diego to protect your investment from catastrophe. Schedule your roof inspection now, 619-334-ROOF, or online at extremeroofs.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Got our 97.3 The Fan commercial-free Padres Roundtable coming up in about 12 minutes. Presented by San Diego Roundtable Pizza. For takeout or delivery, go to roundtablepizza.com. Roundtable Pizza Royalty. And I've heard Kelly mention it, really some traffic on the 8. Craig said he got turned around, so he may be a little late. We'll clap him in like they do when you're late in the meetings if Craig's a few minutes late to the Roundtable. Just warning everybody. Maybe he'll make it. I think that's it's now very dramatic to see. Are you going to be there, though? Can I count on you? I know that this is above and beyond, Woods, but I need you, buddy. I need you. Don't let me down.
I haven't decided yet.
What can I offer you?
You only signed on for regular season.
What can I offer you?
Yeah, it was a regular season thing where the regular season's over.
I'll buy you some pizza.
Nope. I'm good.
That's right. The pizza's free anyway.
Pizza's free.
All right. I get the sense that if Kyle Higashioka stuck his arm into one of those CVS blood pressure cuffs, he wouldn't even register. The guy is so low heartbeat.
So calm, man.
So calm all the time. So soft-spoken. Just is out there doing his job. Even when he hits a home run, barely registers. Like, even a note of excitement. I mean, he's got to put on a little bit of a show, I think, just for his teammates.
He was more happy to get the Blink-182 guitar.
That's what I
hitting
wanted
the
to
home
bring
run.
up. Did you see this? Yeah, Tom DeLonge, who threw out the first pitch on Tuesday, presented Kyle Higashioka with the actual guitar that was used in the video for All the Small Things.
Incredible.
For him. And then Kyle immediately plugged it in and did the All the Small Things riff in that in that room where he keeps his amp at Petco Park.
It's like Slash bringing the November Rain guitar. I'm just like, oh my God, dude. This
Not
is
just
insane.
a guitar that he used one time.
Not like
the one he played with at Petco Park a couple months ago.
But like the if he wants to give Higgy a guitar, a Tom DeLonge model Fender Stratocaster, it's a phone call away. I need one, and I need it to go to the Padres clubhouse. It's that guitar that's just like insane to think about. And Higgy's face, he's like, no way. It was really, really.
I feel like this should be locked up somewhere and like with other
band, or at least at like a Hard Rock Cafe or something, hanging somewhere, right? Like
Mark and Travis were like, wait. What?
Yeah.
What?
You gave him that one? I thought that was so rad. So really cool. I loved it, man. I love Higgy. You guys know, man. He is just one of my favorites and such a good dude. Had him in studio. So kind to us. So kind to my son. My son treasures his Higgy autograph. It's displayed prominently in his room. Just a great, great human, and have really enjoyed him this year.
You love to see him heating up. We saw what happened when he got hot. What was that, around June, July? Yeah, when he just went off for a month. And whatever, he's that adjustments guy, like the tiniest adjustments. Remember in June, it was, I'm just going to close my stance like 2 inches. And it turned all those foul home runs into home runs. Well, he may have made another adjustment recently because he looks fairly locked in at the plate. I don't think Mike Schilt will move him out of the 9-hole. He's not the kind of guy, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But Kyle Higashioka is a dangerous weapon right now, especially batting ninth. And then he said this in the news conference when he spoke at Petco Park the other day. He doesn't really measure himself by what he does at the plate. It's great, yeah. I mean, 17 home runs, new career high, 2 in the postseason. He wants to help his team, but really the only thing he measures himself by are wins and losses because he feels like that is the measure of whether you're doing a good job as a catcher, is whether your team wins. Because more than any other player, I mean, maybe close to the starting pitcher, it's the catcher who kind of impacts the whole game of what's going on. And he's done a really good job. They win a lot of games when Kyle Higashioka's been behind the plate.
He's been really good, man. He's been really good. Works really well, obviously, with Michael King, as you saw the other night. And, as a guy that was labeled the word that I hate, the phrase that I hate is throw in. A guy that was labeled a throw in on the Juan Soto deal, he's been spectacular in every sense of the word. And just a real calming presence in the clubhouse, real calm at the plate. I love his ABs. He's put some really good swings on balls. Let's keep it rolling. Need him. As Dylan Cease called him, the best 9-hole hitter in the game, Kyle Higashioka.
Let's be honest. When they knew they had to trade Juan Soto, we were hoping, hey, if you can get like 75% of the value of what Juan Soto's going to bring, you probably are doing pretty well in that trade. As the season went on, you realized Padres probably made out just as well as the Yankees. And now as you look going forward, with the fact that, Michael King's going to be back another year. Randy Vasquez could be in the rotation next year. Juan Soto is not a Yankee next year. I mean, they can sign him, but he's a free agent. All of a sudden, that trade is looking better and better and better every single moment.
Don't forget Drew Thorpe, who was the centerpiece in the Dylan Cease deal. So it was really well done. And AJ took a tremendous amount of grief for that trade. And everyone's like, oh, you got Michael King, you should have gotten Clark Schmidt. You should have gotten Luis Heel. You should have gotten Jason Dominguez. Well,
they set their sights on Michael King.
They wanted Michael King.
Yeah.
And that's the guy they wanted. And it's amazing to me, the Yankees, with all their starting pitching woes, never decided, let's just get this guy locked in full time. He's clearly got it.
All right, who feels like a little round table? I'm going to twist Woods' arm, and I'm going to bring him over to the sound stage, and we will be back in just a couple of minutes. Paulie, we'll see you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Last show before a Dodgers series starts on a Friar Friday.
Let's get weird
That is
tomorrow.
coming up for Paulie, for
Kiss
Woodsy.
the Roach.
I'm Ben. One quick. Off the microphone. Paulie's got it.